You know, mm. uh, what's going on, Charlene? How you doing? I got you, Michelle. I got you. You know, uh, sometimes a lot of you black men expose yourselves in a very, 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 very. I don't know if this space. I don't know if this space attracts pedophiles or predators. Can't call. I mean, what kind of philia would it be? But a lot of men have so much of a disdain that they openly expose themselves. They openly expose themselves. And y'all women, y'all gotta be careful when people start using religion. Y'all women, y'all young brothers, y'all have to be careful when people start using the cover of religion as their talking points of why they do what they do. There we go. This dude, this dude and his wife literally came out talking about they met when she was a teenager. I'm doing a show right now. It's okay. A lot of my people have. A lot of y'all gotta be careful, man. When these dudes, a lot of these guys, a lot of these people are mentally sick. I don't know what will possess a man to openly want to brag about talking to a teenager. What would want to possess a man to want to brag about talking to a teenager? But I listened to the chaos of different panels, and it just got worse. You know, I'm also joined here by my affiliated co-host and partner, attorney Michelle. So that way we're going to be definitely um, looking at this. Um, listen, uh, maybe Michelle will be more so removed because she'll look at it through the legal lens. I'll be looking at it from the parental man as a man lens. And is that fair to say we'll be looking at it from different optics? Um, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna tell you right now, under no scope would I ever want to come out and say, um, I would never want to say I found my wife when she was 15 or 16 and got her phone number. That didn't age well. That I don't know how. I don't know what kind of love story would you even want to tell for that one to show. That doesn't sound like a very inviting love story.
I mean, I want to say this. Hi, everybody. The Romeo and Juliet laws are 2 years. If there's a 2 year difference in the ages, most time you can avoid any type of legal repercussions such as statutory rape. Lascivious conduct is when the child is like under 12. Some states is 14. Now, we all know the love story of R. Kelly and Aaliyah. She was 16. He married her without her parents' permission, so the marriage was annulled. But there's also the story of Bo Derek and John Derek. He married her at 16 with her parents' permission. Elvis Presley and Priscilla Presley, again, you had a man marrying a teenager. Does it happen? Yes. There are a lot of men out there that don't want a woman that has learned to be independent, to support herself. So taking a teenager from her parents' home, in a lot of men's minds, may be ideal because they don't want to deal with the so-called modern independent woman.
But see, now here's the thing about that. Because we keep hearing these bedtime stories, Michelle, about the hitting the wall. Well, in the Bible, it was okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these people like reaching back on that political platform of religion to say it's okay. And when I've heard a man even say, so long as she's bleeding down below, she's a woman. She's ready.
I've heard him say that there's grass on the field is coming to play.
Don't that get dangerous after a while?
It depends on
it depends.
For most, I mean, think about this. Most men or women, they don't reach their medical maturity. Their brain is still developing until they turn 25. So if you can find a woman whose brain is not fully developed, you can actually finish raising her. You can mold her into your helpmate. And for a lot of parents, they have to deal with the idea of, okay, my daughter's 16. If she's going to date, what is the reason for her dating? Is she dating for fun? Which a lot of parents believe that's just, okay, it's fine. Some parents believe it's better for my daughter to date for marriage. It's better for her to marry than to burn. They want their daughters to be a virgin when she gets married. And the older she gets, and the more men she dates, the less likely of that happening.
Now, you don't think this is why we have this is the reason why there's so much dysfunction? You don't think that ain't like some type of grooming? Because that, to me, that's grooming. I'm getting a naive young girl who don't know Adam Apple and what's going on, Chris, Susan, Charlene. So we also have a mother also on here also. And what's going on, Viper? If you want to come up, and also, but I definitely might. Somebody who's talking about that's not going to play out well. That's not playing out well. Like, y'all can try to throw me the religion card, the Romeo and Juliet, but in that of functional society, right? You're fucked up. There's no other way to say it. What made it worse was your wife got on and said, I met him and I approached him when I was 16 or 15 and got his phone number. Why would you, as a grown man, entertain a child? Why would you entertain a child?
You already know why, BMT. Why you acting like you don't know why?
Now, so what's your thoughts on that? But I'm gonna play the clips of these things. But what's your thoughts on that?
Like these they don't have the maturity of the woman that they want at their particular age. So, it's like kids. When you have kids and like you always say like the kindergarteners, and when the kids are like, 2 to like 7, they're so easy to impress. You show them a toy, you show them this, and you do stuff with them, and they're so happy and they're easily impressed. you know. But when they get older and they get some wisdom, you know, now they need more, you know. They're not that they could use their mind and they could think and they know what's going on. They need more. So I think these men, they probably can't relate to the woman that's their age, because she already know that he's not doing the things he needs to be doing. So he needs to go to like a little 16-year-old, you know, who's living at her parents' home, right? She doesn't know the everyday struggle. She doesn't know about paying rent. She doesn't know about paying the electric bill, water bill, you know, car insurance, making sure you have adequate Medicare. She doesn't know anything about that because she's coming from her parents' home. She's sheltered, you know? So he's gonna take her out of that environment where she's already, you know, whole. She's not thinking about those things. And she's impressed by him buying her a sandwich or some pizza or taking her to the movies. She's not really vetting him and asking him what he does, you know, so she's really easily impressed. As to a grown ass woman, she's gonna look past all those things and she wants to know, like, what are you actually doing in the real world? You know, how much money is this man bringing? Like, what can he bring to the table? So I think it's that's the correlation. They want somebody who's gonna easily go with what they say, what they should do, right? When a woman is super young, she's naive. She's thinking that the man has her best interest at heart. She wants to please the man because she doesn't know much about herself. She hasn't explored herself. She hasn't gone to school. She hasn't done much. So now she's looking for love in all the wrong places too. She wants a relationship. You know, I think that's a very vulnerable stage to be dating any kind of woman. That's just me.
Okay.
Uh,
So okay.
You know, Joe, if you hear most of these shows where they talk about relationships, you hear men telling women what they want. You do not hear like the fatherly advice of ladies, you know, when you're out there dating, this is what I tell my 16-year-old daughter. What these 16-year-old girls are hearing from grown ass men is that, you know, I want a best friend. I want a helpmate. I want someone that has my back. I want someone that's going to be there to talk to me, that I can do things with. And that is really not what marriage is about. I mean, the day-to-day grind of a marriage is, you know, you get up, somebody has to fix breakfast for the kids, somebody has to get the kids to school, somebody has to run the errands, you know, dry clean it off, go pay the bills. I mean, even if you're doing it online, you have to do it. You have to get the bills paid. You know, you have to make sure the kids have a lunch. You have to pick up the kids. You know, you have to fix dinner. You have to do the laundry. You have to do the vacuuming. I mean, that's the reality of it. While guys are sitting up there going, oh, I want someone I can talk to. Nigga, it's 10 o'clock at night. I just got the kids to bed. I'm tired. But I want to make love. No, that's work. It becomes work. And it's like, I see a distinction sometimes between, you know, the videos of white men talking about what their life is like after they get married. And it's like, you know, can I get 15 seconds in the broom closet while the kids are distracted? When we used to make love all over the house. That is the reality that women logically are looking at. Okay, once I get married, I'm going to be expected to do these things. So I want a man that is going to provide for me while I'm expected to do these things. Yes, he may help out a little bit, but I'm in women's minds, a woman, not a child. A child is going to come into it believing, oh, he wants a best friend. No, that'll be his dog. What he really wants is a maid, a cook, a sex mate, you know, somebody to rub his back when, you know, he's had a hard day. He wants a worker. When you get a young girl that is not used to being on her own, she has no idea what it costs to put food on the table, what it costs to put a roof over her head. She has no idea what it costs to have a TV, have internet, have cable, Netflix, the basics. She has no idea because it's always been provided for her. The only thing she had to do was chores every now and then. So she's going into that marriage like, okay, I'm going to be taken care of. Not really sure what the level of taken care of means, but I'm going to do chores. I have chores. There are a lot of men out there. I swear, every time I hear these men talking about, what's wrong with you women? Why do y'all expect that if you making 80,000, a man got to make 100,000?
We're getting off on something different because I'm trying to figure out. We're getting off of something different because I'm
saying
focused.
that a child is not going to have. Men are going after these children because they're tired of the women that say, "Look, I am independent."
Are we saying men? Or are we saying dysfunctional men? You got to make a distinction. You can't just say.
I think there are. I think there are some.
Men, or are you saying dysfunctional men?
I'm saying that there's some men. I think there's some men whose mentality is based on the idea of, if I can get a young girl, I can groom her before she becomes an independent woman. There are men out there who are in the dating pool that are constantly whining about the modern independent woman. So their reaction is to go for the children who are not independent women, to grab them while they're young before they become independent women.
Okay, so let me get at this. Because I don't want to go on that diatribe of the men and the women back and forth games, because that's not my fucking problem right now today. I'm just not in there right now. Y'all have that discussion another time. I want to focus on that on we have a content creator, and shout out to Tampa Supreme, that literally he openly is talking about, hey, there's some commentary to it, but literally it's talking about, hey, I found my bride-to-be, my wife, on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube, when she was young, and I guess dumb. Young and dumb. So there's no way you could tell me that a young girl knows what the fuck she's doing. There's no way at all you could tell me that a young girl is cognitive of making logical decisions that a woman can't. So
I have a
let me go.
story. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, what?
Huh?
You said, yeah, what?
I was saying I have a story.
Oh, no. I already know your story. You want to go down a dark path. No,
Charlotte. No, it's
no,
not.
Charlotte.
It's about
No.
it's about how I dated this guy. Let me tell you, I dated this guy, right? At the time, I was 30. So this is like not too long ago. But anyway, I dated this guy, right? So check this out.
You better not be under 18.
We was dating for like a couple of months, and then I met his daughter, right? And then I found out that his daughter is 15. And then I asked her, I was like, "Oh, how old is it?" And then she found out how old I was, and then she said, "Oh, my mom is your age." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?"
Wait, hold on, wait. Pause.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me do the math.
There we go.
Wait. Okay, so let me do that math quickly.
Go ahead, do the math.
You met.
I was dating this guy, right? He was 36
How old was the guy?
at the time. 36.
Okay.
And
he was like 36.
The mom is the same age as you, and at that time you were 30.
Yes.
So the mom was 15, and
her mom was 30, right?
No, 15 when she had her. She was 15 when she
had her.
Yes. So I was like, what?
Right.
And then I was sitting here doing the math in my head. So he
was
like,
I'm doing the math,
girl
like,
when she was 21. What the fuck? I was sitting here like, yo, nah, you gotta explain this. Like, I don't understand this. Like,
I,
what the hell?
yeah.
Why are you messing with somebody who's 14 and you're like 20, 21?
I mean, my first date was a guy who was 23 and I was 17.
Yeah, but I'm gonna just say he was from the South. He was from Georgia, and I don't know if that's
Why y'all always
normal
trying
down
to make
there.
it seem like
I don't give a
why
fuck.
y'all always
I
trying to
just
make it
say
seem like we all
it.
y'all always trying to make it seem like now I got a question. So
Uh-huh.
are young girls being trained to be in the face of older men?
I don't
I
think so.
mean, it depends. Like the way I was raised.
No,
The way
don't say
I
it
was raised.
depends. Don't say it
It
depends.
depends.
Yes or no?
Okay. The
Yes or
way
no?
I was raised was, first date you had to have a car. I wouldn't date anybody without a car. So you're looking at, I'm 17. I'm looking for people that have a car. That usually pushes a lot of guys out of the scenario. I want a guy with a job that could take me out to nice restaurants. So
So you
again,
wanted a man. You wanted a man.
yeah. So I was
Okay,
17
so
dating a 23-year-old.
man, so you're already mentally fucked up. God damn it. There's nobody left in this
I'm
world
gonna
for
just
you. Okay?
I wasn't like that. I
There's
wanted
nobody.
somebody who was my age because I was attracted to people who are around my age group. That was just
I'm
me.
some dysfunctional shit. I'm hearing some dysfunction. Michelle, you was already co-opted by long time ago. Like,
No, I'm sitting up there saying, it depends on how you were raised. I'm from the South.
You was a teenager dating grown ass men. Get out of here, man. Like
Yes,
you've been
yes,
opted.
All right,
Yeah,
hold on.
wow.
The reason why I said
Shout
it's
out to the
probably
older
from the
people.
South. The reason why I said
Shout out
probably
to the
from the
older
South
people.
because I heard this lady on a live and she was like from a young age she was groomed to take care of men or to be there for men. She was always in a
What
relationship since
what
she was like
functional
14. And I was like, what?
what
And she was from
functional
the South.
family does
And I
that?
was like,
I'm sorry. I mean, it's true.
That's
Religion plays a
dysfunctional.
part in
Yeah. See,
religion plays a part.
religion got y'all fucked
When
up.
you're
Let me play
17,
this shit
no,
right
when you're
now.
17 and your preacher is like, your virginity is valuable. You know that God wants you to be a virgin when you get married. So yes, I was dating for marriage. I wasn't dating for fun. So why date someone that's
Did
not
you did you marry that
capable of,
did you marry
huh?
that 23 did you marry that 23-year-old?
No, no,
Did you go out with
I
her one
wound,
time?
I wound up at 29 marrying a 39-year-old.
Jesus Christ. All right. So
I got nothing to say. I'm gonna be quiet now.
time to move on. let, let me move on. Y'all just tell me, I got
This nigga brought his daughter
No, what was
on game
strange?
of
What was
troll.
strange? When me and my girlfriends got like
Michelle.
28. No, I'm just saying this. There's people, you say it's dysfunctional, but I remember when I was 28, 29, men were saying, "You have no kids?" No. What's wrong with you? You're 29. You don't have any kids. I had one guy that I dated that called me up on my 29th birthday and said, "Hey, when we were dating, you didn't want to date a man with kids. Now you're 29 and I hear you're still not married and don't have any kids. Will you consider dating me now? Because you're almost over the hill."
The fuck?
What
No.
the fuck?
Man, listen,
No.
just no more talking. No more
Listen,
talking.
we still look
No more
young
talking.
as hell, all right? I can still pull dudes in like that who are 18 to 20. There we go. I am not dating nobody. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm dating anybody that young. I'm just saying in general. Like, why
Y'all,
should you have to settle because you're 29? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm sorry.
let me
That's a kind of the
let me
southern thing.
It's not a southern thing. It's not a southern thing. That's a dysfunctional thing. Y'all are always with this southern or no, that's dysfunctional. That's just dysfunction.
I mean,
That's why
I'm
y'all
gonna
got
say
all
it like
these
this.
retarded
If we get Dr. A on the show. Dr. A was like, when she became a OBGYN, anybody that
no.
came in that was over 35, they considered it geriatric OBG. That these were high risk women that were just basically too old to have children without complications.
That is not true because I met
That's not
this lady who had a child who was 45 and she had a regular child and she was black and she just said it was a normal pregnancy like any other. So it's all a fucking lie. It depends on how you take
y'all.
care of your body.
Y'all be saying some dysfunctional shit. I need some new friends at this point. I gotta go.
It's not just. It's not
No,
dysfunctional. Yes, women can have kids into their 50s.
If you have listen, if you have an intact family or a household that makes common sense, I'm not going to tell my 17-year-old to entertain a 23, 24, 25-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna even entertain that conversation. I'm like, why the fuck are you, a grown-ass person, around my young daughter? Explain that to me. See,
That's
that just shows me that's a problem in that home. Because first of all, no parent would be comfortable with that type of shit going down in their home. No parent.
Oh, my mom was so on it. She before he could take me out.
You went on a date with the dude. You said you were dating grown men.
Yeah, I did. I had a 10 o'clock curfew. I had my nephew. No, my nephew lived right next door. My nephew lived right next door to the guy's family. I was never, ever allowed to go to his apartment, ever.
But you got in the car with him.
Yeah, I got in the car with him. And with my cousin.
Did you leave with him?
Huh?
Did you leave
I went to a dinner and a movie.
Okay, last time I checked, people can fuck in the backseat. People can fuck in the movie. People can fuck in the
Why
back.
do you think that? Oh my God. Like, I don't think any woman is as super young is gonna go do that. I don't think so. They're not
what?
Have
sex in the backseat of a car?
No.
But that's why my
that's
mother
for older people who's pretty seasoned. That's not for younger people.
That's why the guys in my life were happier that I was dating a 23-year-old who was marriage minded than dating a 17-year-old who was horny.
So wait. So you're saying ain't no 23-year-old ain't gonna fuck no woman or girl?
No, we're saying the woman, she is not gonna allow that because think about it, she's young minded. She's not even into sex like that. She probably haven't had sex, or she probably had 1 or 2 sexual experience. She's not as seasoned to go have sex in the back of a car. That doesn't even sound that I can't even fathom that in my head when I was that age. It didn't seem right to me. Now that I'm older, maybe I could consider it, but now I can't even fathom that. When I was that age, I wouldn't never ever do that. Never.
That's the easiest place to go get some ass was in the backseat of a car. I don't have to get a hotel. I don't have to go nowhere.
You're older. You could think that way because you're older, but when you're a female, you're super young. You're not. That doesn't.
Right. You want your first time to be special.
Exactly.
If people told you your first time should be special, save yourself from marriage. The wedding night. You do not want to date a 17-year-old that's your parents. If
you come from your parent, but your parent was okay with you, a teenager, going out with an adult.
Yes.
How's that functionality? How's that functional?
Because at 17, most boys just wanted sex. That was the only reason they were dating, was to get sex. A 23-year-old man was dating for marriage.
What? Wait, in what galaxy are you in that you're hearing that these 23-year-olds, if I'm taking a girl out, I'm aiming to fuck. I'm not trying to.
You know why, BMT? Because as a man, you probably slept with, I don't know, 50 women by now, or 20. So sex is not, it doesn't seem much to you, but to a woman, and she's super young, she's thinking about sex is love. Sex means more to her. So she's not going to go have sex in the back of a car, especially being that young. And I'm telling you that from experience and as being a woman. So you can say all that you want and talk all of that, but I'm telling you.
I'm being honest. Maybe I'm just being honest with reality.
BMT, when you were 17, you're sitting up here saying that You wouldn't let your daughter date your 16-year-old daughter date a 20-some-odd-year-old man that obviously they got married. But you would let your 16-year-old daughter go out with a 17-year-old horny guy that is his main goal is to get fucked in his car. Now think about.
Why would I entertain that? Listen.
I don't know.
You're not the best one to talk about on this conversation. Being that your mom was sending you on suicidal missions with a grown ass man. Like, come on now. He
was a gentleman all throughout the relationship. I never slept with him. I mean, he wanted to. We dated for over a year, and he literally the whole time I was in high school, my senior year in high school, my junior year and senior year. My junior and senior year. Mm-hmm. My junior and senior year, we dated. When I went off to college, we broke up, and I dated someone that was 2 years older than me. And he asked my mom and dad, could he marry me? And we were engaged for about 3 years. But the killer was his mom was so upset that his older brother got married at 22. She felt that our being engaged at like 20 was dangerous for his medical career. So she definitely blocked any hopes of us getting married because it was like, no. I'm not marrying until. Yeah. We broke up when I said I was going to go to law school. We broke literally. He gave me an ultimatum, and we broke up.
You know what, BMT? I would say this. I would say some parents, they do promote for their children, especially the woman, to date somebody older who is already established. When they get to like 18, 19, they tell us that.
So I got a question. So why is it that the mother is pushing the young girl in the faces of grown men?
I don't know about young girls. I would say when you get a little bit older. I wouldn't say from 18.
I'm about to pull. I need to pull up the audio from one girl that was 15 to 16 talking to a fucking 20-year-old. Now I'm hearing about the show. Goddamn.
I just told you this was a guy that I was dating at the time, and I did not know until I met his daughter. And his daughter outed him and said that. His daughter said, "You're the same age as my mother." And I was like, what? That took me for a rain check. I just
to me. Like, why do you
I must have a professional panel. Like younger women.
No.
Look in the comments. Look in the comments. Men are saying they don't want to date hags. Men on the comments, they're saying men don't want to date hags.
What that got to do with it? What did I have to do? Hag can be anything. That didn't even say age.
Okay, what I'm saying is that whatever this guy considers a hag, it could be someone in her 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or above. But men traditionally like younger women.
Because they're naive and they're going to listen to them and do anything because they want love. There we go.
Yeah, they're not independent yet. A lot of men want a woman that is not independent. Do you hear these conversations where men are constantly saying these modern women are difficult? They want too much. But if you take a child from her father or mother's house that has no idea how to support herself, no idea. She's never been independent. She comes in and you can groom her to be, that's the idea. You can groom her.
You were dating a whole grooming nigga. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also, I did not date guys my age because the only thing they wanted was sex.
Yo, dude. I'm sorry.
All right,
Attorney. Y'all making
Michelle,
R.
I have
Kelly
a question. I have a
y'all
question
making
for
R. Kelly
Michelle.
seem normal as fuck.
Wait, I want to ask Michelle. So, Michelle, did your parents like wanted you to date older men? Because it mostly be the parents who be telling you to do this.
My mother did not want me to date, period. That's why I said my first date, I was 17. And it was, well, why are you going on?
You can't find no 17-year-old, no 18-year-old. You can't find nobody in high
I
school.
could find them. They all wanted sex. I was not interested in a horny. I wanted marriage. I wanted a man that.
So you dated
I want a man with a car, a job.
Man.
Yes.
I don't.
Full grown man.
To me, I don't think a lot of these boys are so sex crazed. I think it's because of porn, and it's because of like I would say like I would maybe their dads or their cousins or their older family members around them introduce these degenerate behaviors, and I say degenerates because it is. These they become sexual deviants, and then they manipulate these boys to become the same way. Because I was dating this guy when I was in high school for about a year and a half, and we never did anything, like all we did was kiss and everything, and he would walk me home and he would do all of these things. But he was not a sexual deviant. He wasn't like, making me have sex or making me do things like that or nothing like that. So I don't think a lot of these boys, but some of them they do want to try it. But I think it depends on your household that you come from and what are you learning and what's being, brought upon you. Like, because I would have to say these families and extended families, they tell these boys to like, why you not sleeping with this girl? Or I got head or this and that. They do that. They have a whole counting belt, they got bets and all of that.
I don't have no. I'm mentally.
Men tend to treat men.
No, don't say men.
Treat virgins different. No, I'm saying it. No, grown ass men tend to treat virgins differently. Grown ass men tend to treat virgins differently.
Salute. What's good, BMT, creative attorney? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, I mean, wow.
The Joe is like he's sitting up there talking about how his goal is to have sex in a car, and I'm like, that's why I didn't date 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds in a car.
You were doing that.
I don't think women.
I was not having sex in a car.
I was not doing that either. That does not even sound romantic. It doesn't even sound like something I would want to do. That doesn't even no.
The goal for y'all full of shit.
I mean, when you sit up there, no, when I married my husband, he was so funny. He was like, I didn't get a car until I was like 18, so I couldn't have sex. I'm like,
what woman would have sex in the car? Like that's I had sex in the no. That isn't no. I can't no.
No, it was like I'm like sitting up there listening to him whine about not being able, girls were not attracted to him because he didn't have a car, and therefore he didn't have sex until he got a car. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, that's just totally weird.
Is it the same?
And he got a car, and the first person he slept with was like his mom's best friend who was at our wedding. And I'm like going,
oh my God, it's getting too much. That was too much. Okay.
Every time you tell us your backstories, man,
that was too much. But BMT doesn't want to hear it. We took BMT real life examples, real world.
Real life examples are you have some men, I'm gonna say it like this, that yearn for the Mrs. Robinson experience. They want young men. I mean, I sit up there and laugh my ass off when these teachers are getting caught sleeping with these younger men. I mean, younger boys. These are boys, 12 and 14. These guys are like, well, my teachers didn't look like hot like those teachers did. Man, I would love to have banged one of my teachers. And I'm sitting there going,
y'all are proudly telling me that your mom was okay with you,
My mom wasn't okay with me dating, period.
but
She
you
wanted
did.
me.
Well, hold on. But you said you went out with this boy, this man.
He was 23. He was 23.
He was 23. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
and you were in high school, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
In
for a
high school with his
whole
younger siblings.
with his younger siblings,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all were dating
Yes.
and going out.
Year and a half. Yes. A year and a half. You could take me out on Saturdays and Sundays.
Did your mom ever ask? I wonder where the fuck is my daughter going? Where's my daughter going? Like, you know,
Yes.
disappeared for
Yes.
a whole.
Let me tell you, this group. Let me see. They had a song. I'm trying to remember the name. Surface. This group named Surface came to Fort Worth. That's where I'm from, Fort Worth, Texas. And I wanted to go to the concert so badly. They had two concerts: a 9 o'clock concert and 11 o'clock concert. My mom gave me an 11 o'clock curfew. She found out who the members of Surface were. She found out called one of their grandmothers and told them to make sure that I left after the first concert. So they brought me up on stage. I swear it's a true event. Brought me up on stage at the end of the show to sing "Can We Spend Some Time Together?" because you have to be home by 11 o'clock. I mean, my mom was devious.
But you
I
went
was
out
home
with
by
a
11:05.
grown man. You're
Yeah.
not.
The grown ass man got me home at 11:05.
A grown ass man was dating
The grown
you.
ass man. No, my mom met us at the door. It was
Doesn't
11:05.
matter. You
My
going-
mom, no,
Am I the only
listen to the
person?
story.
Why
My
are you
mom said
ignoring that?
be
Why are
home
you
by
ignoring it?
11 o'clock. I got home at 11:05. My mom opened the door with a chain on it and shoved out a check. She goes, "Here's your first month's rent. I told you to have my daughter home by 11. It is 11:05. I'm holding you accountable. Since you want to keep my daughter out, you can keep her. Here's your first month's rent."
What the
You
fuck?
hoes are
Dude,
absolutely
Wow, your mother's
insane.
on a whole different planet. I never
Hold
heard
on,
that.
slow
Yeah, my
down.
mom was
How you doing,
cold.
folks?
She was like, if I tell you to have my daughter home by
You
11
hoes
o'clock
are out
and
of
you're
your
not here,
mind.
you can.
Feezon, what's your problem?
I was 19 years
I'm listening
old.
to her story right now.
Oh,
I'm 19 years old. My mother was like, you know something? If you want to go out with somebody and come in after your curfew, then you guys need to go get married. Here's your first month's rent.
BMT,
Here's
you
her
know what
daughter.
my question is? You know what I wonder, BMT? And first of all, hello everybody. But
fucking win.
BMT, I wonder would that have happened if I was a boy? I mean, if it was a mother dealing with a boy versus her daughter, because I feel that black women do that to their daughters quicker than they do that to their sons.
Yep, and this is why they're
Yeah.
so fucked up now. This is why they're
This,
fucked up.
and all I'm hearing, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing pedo for me, but not for thee. That's what I'm hearing right now. Like,
go ahead, thou
it's
daughter. Go sleep with thou men in the world. Long as you come back with a car.
No, it comes down to if when your daughter turns 16, why are you going to let her date? Why are you going to let your 16-year-old daughter date? I mean, are you going to go? My daughter, her first date, my 16-year-old daughter, her first date, she was supervised by the father.
How old was the
That
man?
Huh?
How old was the person?
He was 17, and his father drove, and they went out to eat and went to a movie and came back, but only because he was supervised. My other daughter, I had one daughter that was belligerent as hell. It's like, why the hell? I like him. No. When I found out how old he was,
How old was he?
he wound up in the hospital. No, he wound up in the hospital. He was 24.
And how old was your daughter?
15.
It seems like the karma of the universe, huh? Karma of the universe.
Uh-huh.
Why'd you have to put her
this hoe is
makeup?
insane, bro.
Why'd you help her for her date? Thought y'all would groom her for marriage.
I was. Two of my kids.
It was okay with mama. You just said older men don't try to fuck. They just try to court. Now your daughter was actually, she one upped you. She found an older nigga that was, hey, mama, I love him. We're going out. Why didn't you let them go out? You got in the car. You go off on your nice little Sunday picnic.
No, I didn't let them go on the date. No, you didn't hear me. I said I had one rebellious daughter who snuck out. They weren't dating. They were fucking. Oh, she snuck out to fuck.
Thought you said older men don't like the fuck.
I had two daughters that always were supervised when they went on their dates until they turned 18.
Your community, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, you have to understand, when you are a mother of a teenage girl.
I don't have to understand shit.
Okay, don't understand anything. But what I'm saying is, teenage girls want to date. The question becomes, why are they dating? Are they dating for marriage, or are they dating for fun? How do you supervise the dating habits of a 16? Hell, there are some kids that are just sneaking around at 15, like my daughter did.
Michelle,
they're gonna do what they want to do.
Now hold on, Michelle. Now that's contradictory, because y'all had a problem with him telling you that you need to be submissive to that 23-year-old and let him do his
medical. Who said I was submissive? Who said I was submissive?
What are we shitting on AP? I don't even agree with AP, but after this story, what are we shitting on AP for? Like I'm lost here.
You know what? At this point, they made this motherfucker so normal. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I see he was ahead of the game. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, hearing this backstory, I guess I chose the advocate, the acolytes of AP. I found his acolytes.
And Chris and creative, I rock with you, but were you sheltered till you were like 25 or something?
No, I was never sheltered till I was 25.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is no, you don't, because if you're a kid and you're trying to smash, you're not gonna smash at mama house. You're not gonna smash at her mama house unless they're both just gone. Where do you think these kids are going?
All right. So listen, when I was younger and I wanted to have sex, right? I had family members.
Okay. Step away from you real quick, because every girl's not you. The world is full of all different types of girls.
Majority of the girls are not gonna go have sex in a car. I have to strongly disagree with that. I'm sorry. But
that is literally why they invented cars.
Hold on,
wait. That's why the car was invented. Like, you know nothing.
Oh my gosh, can I finish? You guys are acting like, if you came from the hood like you said you did, right? We always went to somebody's house that was empty, or you probably cut school, or you probably went to somebody's house and they had a room and you could do that degenerate behavior when you were younger. You most of the time you did not go do that in a car. And most of these girls don't do that shit in a car. I don't know where you're getting this from.
They're basically telling you. They're basically telling you that the reason why cars were invented was to have sex. That's why I didn't date 17-year-old guys. That is why I did not date. I dated marriage-minded men. At 17-year-old, they are not marriage-minded. They are wanting to smash.
If you want to
creative,
know,
where are you creative? Real quick,
okay. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in the projects. All right, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. So
I did not
that makes more sense.
They don't have a lot of cars. No, not everybody has a car in Brooklyn. You don't need a car, so it's different. You go on a rooftop, you go to the park or something like that.
We didn't do that. I just told you how you
creative. You nasty girl.
Or you find somebody.
I told you, bro. These hoes is crazy.
Parties. You always had somebody's house that you will go to, and then your homeboy, and he'll let you use the room. Like, I don't understand. Like, why do you think you gotta have a car?
How is a car on a private block, well, in a quiet block, better than a party where people are? Like, y'all women are so nuts.
Yeah. Again, that's smashing.
Your homeboy, and your homeboy has his room, and he lets you do whatever you want in his room because.
Or you get a hotel, or you get a hotel for a night.
No,
I mean,
teenagers don't have hotel money. We're talking about teenagers here.
I never dated anyone who didn't have hotel money.
But you dated
I
a
mean, I get it,
22-year-old.
but that's the teenage world is that way.
I just explained to y'all how it was done. You cut school and you go to somebody's house or your homeboy or the guys. The guys had a lot of hookups. Like I don't know, they families degenerates. They got fucking apartments where nobody be
No,
at.
those boys are the sons of single moms. Those
There you
boys, their
go.
mom at
So
work
there you
all
go.
day.
So
Like
that's
literally, that.
how. That's how. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
so
why I
you
say
have
it,
to
it makes
think.
sense. So it
Why
makes
would
sense.
I mean, I'm listening to this whole thing of 16, 17-year-old boys wanting to smash. Now, Joe thinks it's crazy for a 16-year-old girl to go out with a 22, 23-year-old guy who wants to get
Why
married.
would I want to entertain that? I'm a
Wait, slow
father.
down. I'm
Why
sorry,
would I
GM. I'm
entertain
sorry,
that?
BMT. A
So
This is
23 year
you're
why
not gonna let
women.
your
a
daughter go
23 year
out
old.
with a 17-year-old
I don't,
boy with a car.
I don't make no more
Hold
You
sense.
on.
want your daughter to go out with a 17-year-old boy that has a car.
I make
That
no
is what, when your daughter turns 16 and a 17-year-old boy comes to your house with a car to take her on a date, you heard your homeboy say the car was invented to smash it. So you're going to be
Yeah,
comfortable.
they just said that. Yeah.
my bad, Michelle. I'll send my daughter 16 with a 28-year-old. Maybe her
No,
chances
I
of
said
getting married will
16-year-old.
go
I
up.
said when your
Go
daughter
up.
goes out with a 17-year-old boy. No, I said when your daughter goes out with a 17-year-old boy, are you going to allow your daughter to go out with a 17-year-old boy with a car, knowing that most of these boys believe that a car was invented to smash it?
What do
I
you
call
think?
bullshit because you just laid out both scenarios. And it was the either or, and both are bad. The 17-year-old
Yeah.
boy and the 28-year-old guy, whatever age, both are
Why does
bad.
So
Why
Mel
is that
see
so
that?
hard?
Why am I?
We
thank
agree
you.
with you. We're not saying that we don't. We agree. We just we
We're
we
sitting up here saying, we're agreeing with you.
backstory.
We're sitting up here saying that yes, it is when you date older men, men are at their sexual prime between 17 and like 21. So it's kind of a weird
What?
thing.
What? Where are you
Men are
getting?
at
Why
their
does that even
sexual prime.
matter?
Yeah,
Where are
I
you going
mean,
with this? I'm dead. I
yeah.
need you to tell me where are you going with
Land the
this? Why
plane,
does
We're
this
please.
talking
Land
matter?
the
about
plane.
the degenerate behavior of
I-
having sex.
I
The
mean,
sexual deviancy.
people,
I
people
thought
are
we were
sitting
talking
up here.
about young girls getting married. That's why I'm like, why does
Yes,
the
we
sexual
are
prime
talking
at
about
17
young
matter?
girls getting married. And you are more likely to find a man over the age of 21 who is considering marriage. Younger guys are just trying to use their car to smash. An older guy with a car, a job, he is thinking about marriage.
No, he's not.
And if he's
What?
dating,
No, he's
Slow
not.
down, ma'am. I'm sorry. If you're
No, he's not.
eligible bachelor and you have a car, you have a job,
And a place.
them niggas are fucking. They're being hoes. They have bachelor
not,
pads.
not
Right up
all
until 30.
men, not all
I
men.
mean, no, listen, Nichelle, I think from a male perspective, and then times have changed. 50 years ago, men would have gotten married in their 20s a lot quicker than now. But the way things are working out now, men don't even want to talk about marriage until later in life, like at least 30.
Late
And
20s. I mean, late 20s is when people start really talking. Men, I think, really start talking about marriage if they find
right.
that
Yes,
one.
but there were some
But that
women,
damn sure ain't
they're
gonna be
still,
talking about marrying a 16 a teenager.
Nigga,
look,
you
Cut
gonna
a
I
fit.
have a 19-year-old daughter that's still a virgin.
Okay.
She wants to wait until she gets married because she saw her older sisters, and she just wants to wait until she gets married. There's
Good
still
girl.
women out there.
But she saw
There,
her older sisters. What does that mean? I'm sorry. I
she
came in late
saw
on the conversation.
she saw her older sisters get their heart broken by men that they're going into it like, okay, we're gonna live happily ever after, and it didn't work out. And so luckily none of my kids have had children out of wedlock, but it was,
they were sneaking around.
yeah, my youngest twin snuck around. Now she's in a stable relationship. The guy wants to marry her. He's 23 and he wants to get married.
How old is she?
I'm sorry. Now, did I overhear a 15-year-old sneaking out the house?
That's the one that was sneaking out of the house, and now she's
And she was sneaking out to
Fucking grown
do
men.
things.
Fucking grown men. Fucking grown men.
Okay, so
Yes.
let's unpack that. What do you think caused that trauma? Like, I mean, what caused her to do those type of acts?
Mommy did it.
No,
No, it's a real question. I mean, I'm just coming up.
I
She
I'm
think
not trying to
was
throw shots.
she was literally looking for love in all the wrong places.
there you
She
go.
had
And
a
she
whole.
So
probably
okay,
following
so my
other
question is
girls.
just, where was dad at? Because I believe that girls fall in love, not fall in love, but the first man that they love is their father.
Her father broke her heart by leaving, going to Arizona to go to law school because it was the only school that would accept him.
Right.
And he
Okay.
really, really wanted to be a lawyer like me.
Right. I got that, but I mean, that broke her heart. How? Because
Her dad left. Her dad
he
left.
left
Why?
her
Well,
life.
hold on. Wait.
That's my ring.
Wait.
What the
Why
fuck?
didn't you go? Why didn't y'all
That
go
was
with him?
deep.
Why
I'm
didn't
Right.
y'all
about to
That
go
say
was
with him?
because
so
it's not like he left out.
deep.
I
No, no,
had
no,
to
I
no,
mean,
get
don't
it.
nobody
take it
talk.
slow
Hold on,
because
no,
usually he
wait,
was.
everybody, wait.
I'm sorry.
Why didn't y'all go with him?
Oh shit.
Because I
Fuck.
thought it was ridiculous for a grown ass 50-year-old man to suddenly decide to go to law school
Wait, hold
at
on. Let
a
me cut this out.
no,
No, baby, no, that's me right now. Are you serious? So you
no,
trying to be
he
at
went
your
to
How
listen to
how
what I'm
dare
saying.
you better
Listen
He
to
yourself?
didn't
what
want to
I
be a
just
rapper.
said. I
He didn't
said
want to
How
be a
he
dare
rapper.
you
went
have hopes
no,
and
listen,
dreams? How dare you
listen.
have
He
a
didn't want
plan
to be
for
a
your future,
rapper. He
nigga?
wanted to be a lawyer. His second career, and and you're saying that that's ridiculous?
Yes, it was ridiculous because the school was shut down because it was a fraud school. It was shut down. He could not pass the bar in Texas. He finally went to Mexico, New Mexico, where he
Uh-huh.
could finally pass the bar.
So if the school was shut down, that
Did
meant
he
he
pass the
wouldn't be
bar?
able to sit for the bar.
The school was shut down. He was grandfathered in, but some you can look
Did
it
he
up.
pass
Summit
the
Law
bar?
School,
Did he pass?
Summit. He passed the bar in New Mexico because
Okay.
he
So he
failed the
passed.
Texas bar. He
This
failed the
isn't
Texas.
all. Isn't
Yeah,
that all that
the Texas bar is
matters?
definitely hard. I get it, but I mean, my thing is, it seems like you had a man in her life who was ambitious enough to go out there and follow his dreams, even in
No,
the
he
spite
wasn't
of the
following
fact that he
his
was old.
dream. He was trying. He was trying to prove that he could better me because
Why
I
would you
went
keep
to.
Is
bringing
that
her
how
up?
you internalize it, or is that what he said?
Lord have
That's what he
mercy.
said. That's what he
What's
No,
said.
going
no,
on?
He
no. I
said
can
if y'all.
believe that.
I can
He
That's
I
believe
can
said.
that
believe
too.
that.
What?
He
Hey,
said
okay.
let
if
me
your
ask you a
dumb
question.
ass.
Let me.
This is too much.
I'm sorry, no, but I mean,
What?
we
What's
went down
going
the
on?
rabbit hole, and I apologize, but that's a
Lord have mercy.
unique, crazy story. Like I've never heard of a
I need.
deadbeat father that ducked off to go to law school.
It's
Yes,
not
he
that
did.
unique.
I
You
have the
just you
transcript.
got to
I
weave
have
through the
the
emotions.
judge
Why do
said
you
the
have
judge.
the
Wait a minute.
transcript?
Wait a minute. Wait
Why
a minute.
can't
I
women
have
just
the transcript
handle
where the judge asked him. The judge asked him. He said, "Sir," he said, "I think that when you have 3 kids, it makes more sense for you to be there for your kids than going off to law school and paying $900 a month for your car note. Therefore, I'm not going to let you get out of paying child support because you elected to go to law school. You still have to pay child support. You
Wait, that's your
obviously
husband
can
now?
You
afford it."
really just tried to slander that man's name by bringing up some irrelevant shit. Nobody cares about the child support case. Who cares?
Yeah,
And that's
that's
none of the
I'm
judge's
irrelevant.
saying,
business whether he goes to law
Irrelevant.
school or not. You brought that up to make a point.
yes, I brought it up to make a point that there are men out there, I hate to say it, that going to school to get out of paying child support. It don't
Wait.
work.
What?
That's
So
actually
you
Why
telling
do
not
me
you
the
think
point.
women be in school?
the,
Hold on. Why do
that's
you think women be in school
what
for
the
so
fuck?
long? You know what being enrolled in school does for a woman? Don't give me that shit.
I'm about
What
to
does
say
it
you
do
go
for a
back.
woman?
They
what
put
what
loans
it
back in
does? He's
deferment. They put
conservative.
loans
Why
Let's
do
back
you
let
in
him
care?
deferment.
continue what he has
This
to
this
say.
this is
It
why
puts
independent
it puts
women are
student loan.
trash.
It puts student loans back in
It's a
deferment. I'll
free
tell you
zone.
that. I know motherfuckers that come out there and carry 6 hours just so they won't see Sally Mae.
So wait a second.
So
So let me
no.
go.
Hey,
So
hey,
You said
BMT, real
independent
quick.
women are trash. You just said
Yes.
independent women are trash.
Thank you, BMT.
So
You gave me
you would
my
date
film
a
for the night.
16-year-old because she's not trash. She's not independent yet.
No, that's not what
Who in
I'm
the hell
You
saying.
said
want
What?
this ever.
16-year-old? What
How
the?
about
What?
That's
how
what we're
Wow.
about
talking about.
21, 22?
You want a
I mean,
21,
at
20,
least give me 19.
year-old woman that's not
Yeah, like
independent.
what are we talking about here?
I
God
thought
damn.
I thought this was
You trying
a
to make me a bad
conversation on the
guy. You trying to
backstory. I
walk me
thought
into
you
a life
wanted
of
to have an
crime.
understanding. I thought this
I'm lost.
we had this conversation to have an understanding, not to have these, petty man against woman.
It's not
No,
man
no,
against woman.
no.
It's
It's
just the
not.
fact that it's not a man against woman, in my opinion. I just think that it seems like there was some kind of visceral that came about from that situation, and it might have leaked into
Yeah,
the
it did.
15-year-old daughter, and that you know what I'm saying, and that's the reason why she acted out the way she did.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, whatever the relationship was, you got two people who have the brains to become fucking attorneys. So obviously, she comes from good stock, quote unquote. So all that to be said, y'all not deadbeats. Y'all have a value on education. How the hell y'all do make a 15-year? How y'all fuck that up? For
Now,
lack of better words.
now the thing about it is this.
15 going I can't do it. Go ahead.
Now the thing about it is because Jesus Christ, in just 1 hour in the show, y'all threw me
To a
way
monkey wrench,
a
yeah.
whole fucking monkey wrench. Like Jesus Christ, I don't. Holy shit! Like
But
You
it's
asked two questions. You asked one.
no, no,
No, it's
you
a simple thing. A
you just
16-year-old, you
no,
said a
no.
16-year-old girl married a 20-year-old guy. That was, and why would a guy be so degenerate? Why would a 20-year-old date a 16-year-old? You've had me tell you that when I was 17, I wanted to date an older man because he was less likely to go into the relationship just looking for sex.
Mhm.
As I've given you a woman's perspective.
Okay,
Why
so
would
Yeah,
you're
that's all
hearing
we
men,
said.
and you're also hearing men say that independent women are trash.
Yeah,
so
that's all
so,
we're
so
doing.
let me grab
Okay.
this. So let me.
We're just giving a backstory of why this is
Okay,
happening.
okay.
That's
So
all it is.
A 16-year-old and a
Hey,
20-year-old, do
hey,
you
hey,
think that if they
but
married at 20 and 16, do you think that it's likely that they were sexually they were having sex a year before that?
holy shit, boy! I just
Because if that's the case, that means that young lady was 15 and he was 19. And if she was
I agree
15,
with that. Yeah,
and
I
if she
agree
was
with that.
15, and if she's 15, that's statutory.
Aries, where's that stuff at, man? Like honestly,
I
it's
agree
like
with that.
why it's like
But
it's
you
Because
know
like
what?
because all
When
this started
she
and the reason why I mentioned that is because this all transpired. The reason why I'm looking at the title that happened in the state of Missouri, and in the state of
okay,
Missouri,
that
16
Aries, does that
you
not
can't
line up the same kind of shit, right? That's lining up, right? That literally is
exactly.
lining
So I
up
You
with
mean,
this.
waited till they got married. I mean, do people not think that there are still people who
so
are religious enough?
the
I
particular
don't
person
think
that we're
so.
talking
I
about,
don't think so. Not with these
the
men.
particular
No.
person that we're talking about is on YouTube, and he's definitely shows signs of being highly sexually promiscuous, always talking about himself in a sexual manner, bragging and this, that, and the other. So for you to tell me that that particular person who's 19 at the time, allegedly in the military, waited
Yeah.
until that person got to and waiting to see that girl got 16 for
No,
him
he
to
didn't.
finally no. The likelihood is not the kid that he was
Dude,
definitely
most
No.
sexually intimate with her at 15, which is
most people in the
statutory. But
military,
that means it's a wrap.
me and Charlene will tell you, most people in the military, they get married quick to get that fucking BAH money. I'm
Not
sorry.
only that, I would
We're
not
not
trust
giving
there
a
it
man
is.
who's in the
we're not
military
giving up
because
that BAH
he's
money.
going to cheat. I would
We're,
not. I'm just saying.
we're
No,
not
this.
giving up that BAH money, bro. That BAH check is
Um,
nice. That BAH check
that's
is nice. We're not
Army
giving that.
wives cheat more than
yeah.
regular women, you know.
So
I was finna say that. I
Jody,
was finna the women be cheated too. It's like a whole it's like a whole
Yeah,
back and
it's a
forth of
bad
cheating.
culture.
what
It's just me. I just wouldn't. No.
So the 24-year-old that was intimate with your daughter, did you bring charges up against him? What was that?
no.
Yeah, I did.
Why not? Why?
What do you mean? Why?
What do you mean why? I mean, he's
Yeah, that
24 and
now I kind
he's
of what do you mean why? Like,
24
if
and
listen,
15.
yeah, you get charged, bro. It's my daughter. You're lucky the law's handling it. Like, it's
No,
gonna
no,
take
no,
all
no,
of
I
my
no. I'm
mean, you
strength
asking
and
know,
you. No,
reserve
you
to
didn't
let
hear
the
my
law
question.
handle it.
You didn't hear my question. You didn't hear my
Exactly.
question. Hold on, y'all. Y'all didn't hear my question. I said,
All right, reframe it.
was he charged? Was he charged with a crime? I'm asking.
No.
Was he charged with a crime?
Did he do time for Sagittary? Is what he's asking.
Nope.
I said no. We reported it, and
Okay.
they declined to. It's up to the DA's discretion. So
Gotcha. Okay. And I mean, I just want to find out if something had happened because he needs to be wiped off this earth. Like, if that was my
I'm gonna
child,
tell
I
y'all
promise you I
another
would have
sad
strangled his
story.
ass.
I'm gonna tell y'all a sad story.
Sad story from you.
Yeah.
No more story.
No,
time
no.
from you.
This is
we gotta hear somebody how we learn real life experience.
It's real life
Yo,
story.
any
cousin-
story y'all women been
Hey,
telling lately has been really
Stop, Joe.
Men ain't got no
Listen,
stories.
Joe.
Obviously, they're perfect.
Joe.
So let's hear from the
bad.
show.
No, y'all stories have been
Okay, I'm gonna
bad.
tell you a story.
The men are
I'll tell you a
perfect
story.
on the channel. So go ahead, the show.
Thank you.
Y'all
My 15-year-old cousin
Oh God.
was dating a 20-year-old man.
Hey,
My
real
cousin found
quick,
out. No,
real quick
no.
before you finish the story. You said you're from the South, right?
Oh,
Yes,
Jesus
Texas.
Okay, go Texas. All right, cool. Go ahead.
Okay, so the guy said, I didn't know she was 15. The police documented the report and they said, now you know she's 15. Stay away from her. That is how the other guy got off with my daughter. He said, I did not know she had a job. She was working at Sonic. So he thought she was grown. Anyway, the police will document it. The first time a parent reports it, the police will, unless like they're in the act or something, the police will give him a warning, like a no trespass. Don't come near this child. So my cousin had that done. Then her 16-year-old daughter turned out to be pregnant by this man. She had the baby. The man went to jail for 2 years for statutory rape, because it was documented that she was underage when she got pregnant. When he got out of jail, the baby is now 2 years old. He demanded visitation. Texas law allowed a man who committed statutory rape to go for possession of the child. And his girlfriend was right there with him saying, my man need to be with his child. That's my man's child. She don't need to be paying no child support. He need to have that child. The court actually considered allowing this man to get possession of the child as a more stable
This
environment.
is not really bad. Yeah, I mean, Nichelle, here's the problem. And
We
I've been
have
thinking
changed the
about
law
this
in
as you were
Texas now.
talking.
Look, like I said, we changed the law in Texas.
The statutory thing presents an interesting issue, Nichelle. And as a father, you're kind of in a lose-lose situation here. Like, if your daughters grow up to be whores, how can you really blame some guy?
I mean, what's the definition of whore?
She did not blame nobody. Like what?
A 15-year-old
You
girl
over
trying
here
to fuck a
gaslighting.
20-year-old man, that's a little whore. She's a
No, you
little
over here
whore, and her father. Listen,
gaslighting.
if that's my daughter, I disown you. If that's my daughter, I disown you. I don't want nothing to do with you.
She is a whore. Yeah.
Like, bitch, your
No,
blood ain't
she's
mine no
not.
more.
Wait,
Y'all
but
over here gaslight on this
why?
channel.
Nah, because
But
this
I
shit
Tell
mean,
a
ain't
look,
cool,
story with
bro.
finding
no
love
This shit
means
judgment.
ain't
that you're gonna
cool.
make
Like what the
This shit
hell?
ain't cool.
24-year-old?
First of all, the fact that listen, he's not a rapist in the sense that he attacked her in a dark alley. She wanted him like he wanted her. He's
Wait,
the
but
only one that'll ever get held responsible legally. Fine. But that doesn't change the fact that she was still a willing participant, and you cannot solve that problem. You can't ever speak to that shit. You don't know what to do with that shit.
yeah, it's a deep issue. But the 24-year-old, I'm not letting that boy off the hook, because if he can't tell that he's talking to a 15-year-old by conversation, something is wrong. I don't give a damn how physically developed she might look. A 15-year-old, well, you can't, like, you can tell the difference in conversation between a damn sophomore in high school versus somebody that can purchase cigarettes. I mean, it's not gonna happen. I can't let that boy off the hook at 24. At 24,
Maybe not.
You know what to think about it.
I don't know if the number was 24. I thought it was 20 and 15.
Yeah, but
You know what?
I don't
Michelle,
like
correct
this.
me if
My
I'm wrong. I
daughter's
thought it
was
was 20 and
24.
15.
My daughter's was 24. Yeah, he was
But her
24.
daughter was 15. She had a
The story,
15-year-old daughter that
My
was
you
cousin
just
married.
was
told the
15.
second story. No.
My cousin was
Right.
15 and the
Okay.
guy
So
was
that was
20.
15 and 20.
What's
Right.
up
Again,
now?
that's the story I'm
Okay,
talking
so
about right
why
now.
are y'all having these philia confessions to me? Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all know I'm
You
not for
No,
that.
brought it up, but we
we're
can go
Who's
talking
over
about,
y'all? Who's
examples.
Not
y'all? Hold on. Who's
okay.
Yeah, there was
y'all?
only
we're
one.
talking
There was
about
only
young
one
girls,
confession.
and older men. I gave you an
Yeah,
example of what happens when a younger girl has sex with an older man, and in that scenario, she got pregnant.
I
He
thought
went to
y'all
jail
wanted.
for 2 years.
I
Now,
thought
I'm
These
y'all
not.
are
wanted
my
to
I'm,
hear it. That's what we
confessions,
here
and that
for.
girl was way too young. I just had to go and pick her
Freeze
up
on.
because she was
Obviously,
15 years
these
old.
men
These
on
my
the piano are perfect. They
confessions.
don't have any
Now,
stories. So
why?
Michelle got
Now,
the
first of all,
story.
so first of all, I'm hearing about moms allowing their daughters to go date grown ass men. Then y'all saying that y'all were renting out boarding rooms for y'all to go get fuck ons and shit.
Nobody's
And
renting out. What the hell? Nobody's renting nothing out. What is you coming with that?
I
What?
said hotels. I said hotels.
She said
so you
hotels.
said,
I never said hotels. Nobody got time
okay,
to
so you was
hotel.
in a hotel. Okay, so you went to a hotel. Okay.
So wait, who rented a hotel to have for their daughter?
I never rented a hotel for my daughter. I never would do that. I
Okay.
said that I would not have sex with a man that could not afford a hotel room.
Jesus Christ and shit. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
get how we
where did you
got
start
here
having sex?
because, hold on, real quick. I get how we got here because BMT presented the question, the ladies came up and explained the answer. The
You won,
the
David. You
issue,
won. You
the,
won,
the
David.
issue, the issue and discrepancies and stuff is by saying things like men don't want independent women and they don't understand how to handle independent women and all this stuff. But then when we hear independent women talk, they literally make the decisions that put their kids in the same
Danger.
situations that they went through, which is adding to the dysfunction. To which I'm going back to my original point: modern independent women are trash.
Again, that's why I
Listen,
said a lot of men date, a lot of older men date young girls because they do not want an
young
independent woman.
girls,
What do
women,
y'all have to talk
young
about?
women.
What do y'all got to talk about? What do y'all talk
And
about? What do y'all
then,
You're talking about young women,
and then
right?
to
Don't say
make
please
young
don't
things
guys,
want to
worse,
bash
please.
women right now. So
no,
go ahead,
no,
I'm not.
no,
Florida.
and
No,
then
Yes,
I'm
you
not
do.
and
You
bashing.
then
want
I
to
to
just
bash
no,
women.
bad.
Go
and
ahead.
And
then to
secondly,
make things
I'm not.
worse,
Go ahead.
and then to make things worse, Creative, you said, I don't know how old you were, but you said, I'm old enough to not have to get no older man. I can get me an 18 or 19-year-old. I still look young.
No, I said
Charlene.
I could bag
You
you
did
one.
say
Not
that.
that I want one. The reason why I said that is because Michelle had some guy, right, telling her that she should get with him now because she didn't have kids yet. And I was saying, why the fuck should she get with him? And I was just giving a reference point that, black women still look young. Like, we could bag a guy of any age. Why the fuck should I have to settle for you because you saying because I
Looking
didn't have
young is not being
that
young.
was the only reason why I said that.
Look,
Okay. I'm
looking
not
young is a
looking
hollow
for
victory.
I'm not
No, I'm
looking
saying,
for
Let me ask.
anybody who's
Let
young.
me
okay,
let me ask. Let me
My
ask this
head
question. So
hurts.
let me ask this question of the women, right? And then I'll ask of the men. If Are you okay with your daughter dating a mature man? If she is 16, 17, are you okay with her dating a mature man that's like what, 24, 25 years old? Are you okay with
I
that?
think I'm going to say this one more time.
Yes or
It
no?
depends on,
Oh,
no, it
yes or
depends
no?
on, do you want your daughter to get married? If you
You,
want your daughter to get married, you want her to date an older man. If you
you,
want your daughter to just be labeled a whore, then she's more likely to be labeled a whore if she dates a younger man because
so
sex is on their mind, not
your
marriage.
kid, you,
Mm,
oh Lord have
that's
mercy. How far
that
gone
wasn't
are
okay.
you?
I kind of agree with no. I agree
No,
with
but I mean
the
that wasn't a clear
logic. The
answer to
heart
the
of what
question,
she's
though.
saying.
That was
That's
Yeah,
not a
not
but the
clear
no.
answer
heart of
to the
what she's
question.
saying isn't wrong. The heart of it isn't wrong. I don't like the age numbers. So to really directly address that, I don't like
That's
the
what we
age
have to
numbers you
deal with.
present. Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's what
that's
we
what
have.
I no, no. I reject that. Then I reject the age numbers offhand because the age. Listen, we draw the line for a reason. We put the line at 18 for a reason, and so even at 17, I'm highly, highly uncomfortable knowing that the countdown is really short. But still, we put the line there for a reason, and just so it makes a clear distinction, I respect the line on all these matters. However, when it comes to the overall point of what Nichelle said, yes, for a younger girl, you don't necessarily want a guy your age. You want a guy maybe a few years ahead of you in life, and not just for the
Mhm.
sake of those few years, but for the sake of if you're looking to be married, you want a man who's already ahead of the game in establishing the marriage foundation, which
So
is
you realize what you're
career,
saying.
house, stability.
There's one
Yeah,
word
but
that
you don't
but
marry
no,
you're not marrying a 17-year-old girl. That no, you're just
yeah,
not.
but the thing is that y'all keep on saying, when y'all say young, y'all, the next word that comes after young is girl. Young women, I can
Right.
understand
That's why I
this
say
argument, but
17-year
young
old
girl,
girl.
this
Right, you're right, and that's why I stand with
is
you. I stand with you on
is
that. It's not
young
about
girl. I
girls, bro.
mean, like a 24-year-old to want to just eye in on a high school student, a 24-year-old mature. You're saying mature, correct? So if he's mature, why the hell is he going to high school to come out there and find a mate?
Yeah, I mean, his
No, I
defense
need.
was, like I said, his defense was she was working at Sonic,
That's
which
it. And
which
he don't.
made him think that she was at least 16. She wasn't.
So,
Um,
but pause. Even if she was 16, I'm sorry to cut you off. It's just the fact
no,
that,
that's fine.
like, at 24,
Yeah,
her working at Sonic doesn't mean that she has a green light to be able to fuck. Like, no, miss me with that, because if he's 24,
yeah.
he
She was
shouldn't be
24
fucking with anything.
working.
He shouldn't be fucking with anyone less than
Oh,
younger than 21 or
the
19.
reason I found out his age was because he was in the hospital. He had a work incident where he cut off his fingers. And I found out his age because when she asked what room he was in, he said, the officer said, "Can you give me his date of birth?" Because they happened to have two men with the same name in the hospital. So she needed to tell him his date of birth. And I found out, and we had the police at the hospital. And I told him, I said, God don't like ugly. That's why your fingers got cut off. You touch my daughter again with another part of your body,
Again.
that's going to get cut off.
So
Yeah.
when she was sneaking off to meet up with your boy, like, she stayed over and he didn't pick up the fact that she had her school uniform in a book sack in the bag. Like, he didn't catch on to this. I mean, because as a 24-year-old, I would assume that boy has enough common sense to pick up little context clues just to tip off that this
Like,
girl is
yo,
in high
Of
school.
of course, he
Nah,
knows,
sooner or
Aries.
later he
Yeah,
saw
he
the book
knows.
bag. Sooner or later he saw the book bag. Now that you
Like,
mention
you know what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah,
It's
that's a
like, you know what
fact.
I'm saying?
He
It's one of
he,
those
he
things where it's
knows.
like, this is a 15-year-old. So, okay, so he doesn't know by conversation that this girl is underage. And then after that, like, she's doing it repeatedly, he doesn't pick up certain. Nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
So,
you
I
better you
honestly
better
agree
you
with
better
all of
take
y'all.
her. You better take her to a bar to see if she can order a drink.
Like
I mean,
that's what I'm
like,
saying. Like free zone. It's too
I
easy.
mean,
Like,
fuck, most people, look, I'll be honest with you, in the hood, hell, people are smoking. With a bag,
like
match
this
one.
is why
Like,
I
I
said.
mean, these are things that I know people that are older than 18, that's what they do.
But you know the
Match
thing.
one is like the Netflix and chill.
But you know the thing about it, Aries, and this is why I say, the that's why I kept saying dysfunction, because functional people would easily pick up on this. Hey, when we go out to eat, first thing they actually do when you want to order a certain cocktail or drink or beer, what do they always ask for? Your fucking ID. Can you show me your ID? If you can't show your ID, then guess what? There are no drinks that are gonna be put on that table. If anything, it's gonna be a red flag. But see, I understand niggas can't take doggone fucking minors to no fucking functional area where other people gonna pick up on, oh shit, that's a kid. Hey, that's a kid with you, right? Oh, we went to the movies. Wait a second. Do you mean the concession stand workers, those teenagers, weren't picking up on, hey, that's a fucking kid. Hey,
Well,
I see.
BMT.
BMT.
You know what?
And I,
This my point.
And nigga Conda, stupid
but
is the way.
there's another person that I wanted to find out about BMT. Like, did the father find out that this was transpiring?
Oh yeah, he did. She ran
And
away.
what was
She
his
ran away.
reaction to? Wait, what?
What was his reaction when he found out that she ran away after I had told the police that he was 15?
The minute
He
he
knew where
knew
she was.
everything,
He
the
knew
minute
everything.
her father
What's his
knew
reaction?
everything, what did he do?
Her father knew everything, and unfortunately, I'm gonna say it like this: the police had to tell him, if you do not give us her location, we will press charges against you.
No. You're starting the story from the middle. I want you to tell me, at what moment did he become aware of the situation of her having sex with an older man, having this continuous relationship? At what moment, the precise moment he became aware? Start from that.
When a hospital, of course. As soon as I found out, I called and told him.
Okay,
And
so you found out at the hospital. You told him. Okay.
yes.
Right.
Because he was out of the
his
state.
reaction was what? Right, in New Mexico. So
His reaction was, I was hoping you wouldn't do it, but you've done it. And his mom was 15 when he was born, so he couldn't say shit.
No,
he couldn't say shit.
That's
he really,
I mean,
he really,
can't say shit.
He really could not say shit, because when he knows his mother turned 15 3 days before he was born.
So let me ask you this.
His grandmother had a baby at 14. He really couldn't say shit to her.
Okay.
He
You
just
see what
said,
this is the problem.
No, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question though? Straight up, and I need you to just be honest with me. Did you ever talk down on her father in front of her?
No.
Did you speak ill of her father in any type of way after he left?
Yes, I did, because he tried to kill me. Yes. My daughter, that became very rambunctious, had to pull him off of me as he was trying to choke me to death.
Okay, so that might be an important part of the
You got a lot of dysfunction.
I know. I don't even know if I want to go down.
Yeah, I mean, because
that's
like
a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, because you have a book that you need to sell.
Fuck.
I think.
Not to crack jokes on you.
Yeah.
Wait,
no, I don't want to ask any more questions.
No.
They are going to make
There's a bigger point I want to make about this, because it's not about Nichelle. It's not about that's what I'm saying. It's not about you, Nichelle, but there's a bigger point here. So when you said about her father, right? His mother, baby at 15, his grandmother, baby at 14, and I think the commonality here is that when men are raised by women who have already, just by their nature, lowered the moral standards, these men essentially have no moral compass, or at least their moral compass becomes flawed. And now you can't even stand up for what's right, because now it's like subconsciously you have to dish your mom. And that's literally what goes on in this black manosphere when we be having these conversations, and dudes have a problem holding women accountable because subconsciously they have to hold their moms accountable. And that's a battle they're afraid to have. And it's like, this is some shit that we see all the time, and it pops up over and over again in different ways, and nobody likes to address the reality of that shit. But that's what it is. It's like the women are just destroying all sense of moral compass, and then the men grow up.
It's not just the woman.
I'm making the point based on what's presented.
Let me do this real quick.
It's not just the woman.
Let me do this real quick.
But I'm saying,
I agree with you. Hold on. I got to do this real quick. So the guy says, if I'm born in 1182 and she's born in 1185 and her birthday is 3 weeks before mine, then your math off. What the flying fuck? Like, wait, 1182, nigga, you know how old you would be? Like, are you a Highlander? Like, meaning your ass off, meaning you lying so spread.
Well, I think that's November 1982. I think try that November 1982.
11. That was a month. That was a month. The 11th.
Okay, so why didn't he just say? Why didn't he just say his year? Why didn't he just say the fucking year?
Because he didn't feel like typing it out, because he was lazy.
Yeah, it's the internet, bro. It's the internet. You got to help people out.
These niggas are stupid. I'm so done with them. Like,
so wait, so you telling me? So I mean, I got one more thing to piggyback on.
I'm so done.
There was
Uh,
there was DV. Did you file charges against him when he was choking you?
He pled guilty. When you have money in Texas, you can, deal with the DA's office.
But
They
so
arrested him
uh-huh.
on a felony. It was dropped down to a misdemeanor. He pled guilty to disturbing the peace, and he paid like a $500 fine after spending
So
3 days in jail.
wait, hold on. So he had more connections with the DA, even though he wasn't a lawyer yet.
He was a doctor before he was a lawyer.
A doctor before he was
Yeah,
a
he was a
lawyer.
chiropractor. He was a chiropractor. He made like $1 million a year.
Yeah, you can
He
get
just wants to
connections.
be
I
a
mean,
lawyer to piss you off.
So wait, he went. Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
why did he become a
Wait,
I
lawyer?
love this
That's a
story.
good question. Why did he become a
Hold
lawyer?
on, hold on.
I'm lost.
He
I'm
went
not.
from being a chiropractor
Yes.
with money and influence
Yes.
to being a lawyer.
Yeah,
And
explain
the
With no
that.
reason why,
influence. He can't
with no
practice in Texas.
influence,
He's like Lee Merritt.
I
He's like Lee Merritt. Lee Merritt cannot practice in Texas,
yeah, I know
even
Lee
if you
Mayer.
see
Yeah,
him on the TV.
yeah, I
You
know
see him
civil
on the
rights
TV all
advocate.
the time.
I get all that, but what I'm saying is that he left, and and it would have DV charge, whatever charge he got, it would have been hard for him to even get into law school because they asked for
Not
that
Summit.
moral.
Summit was a law school. The guy publicly said he started the law school for people that could not get into any other law school
The fuck?
in order to help the Black community. That's what
The
he
black
said.
community?
Yes, and they had a 20% pass rate throughout the United States. Only
I feel like
one
we're
out
getting
of
lost
every.
in the weeds
Dog,
of the life of
No, I'm just
lifetime
saying.
with
I'm just saying that just just to
yeah,
get
that's
back
a
to
movie.
the topic. Getting back to the topic. Why do men date 16-year-olds and marry them? Bear in mind, this man married this woman. Why do they do that? It is the choice of the family.
Was it
You can either
legal?
have
Did he
you
break
can
the law marrying her?
the parents can sign off at 16, 15
No,
in
I'm
some
I'm
states.
asking you. I'm asking you to be direct. Did he break the law marrying her?
If the parents consented, no.
Is that
If
what
the parents,
happened? Is that
we
what
don't
happened?
know. They've been
Say
married.
it say it
oh, we
plainly.
don't.
Like
They've been
you keep
married.
saying it like you're dodging. So
Wait, slow
I'm
did the
not
down, slow
parents
dodging.
down.
I
allow
don't
this?
know. I
I'm talking
don't
about in
know.
this
They did
situation. Oh,
not.
wait. In this
They
situation,
did not challenge the marriage. The
pause,
parents did.
pause,
Okay.
pause. There's an important part that we're
Okay.
missing, people. Because I knew I was there for it. That's his spiritual wife. If you're talking about the 20-year-old and the 16-year-old, they're not legally married.
Okay. But you guys
Spiritual
know
wife.
that Aaliyah did marry R. Kelly without her parents' consent, and they had it annulled. Bo Derek
Somebody. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
married John Derek. I don't know if y'all know this, but Bo Derek married John Derek when she was 16 with her parents' permission. Elvis Presley married Priscilla Presley when she was 16 with her parents' permission. It happens, especially in the South, that you have a choice as a parent. Do you want your daughter to commit a sin and be labeled a whore, or do you want your daughter to go ahead and get married? If older men are more likely to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage if she's a virgin.
How do you know this?
Again, if it's a legal thing, if that's just a law down there, I'm not gonna like. I don't even care anymore at that point. Frankly, I don't, because if this is the law and that's what those people do, that's the way they've ordered their little civilization, whatever. Because the truth of the matter is, historically speaking, 20 years and 16 years doesn't even matter when it comes to like a man and a woman getting married. That's not even an issue. It's only that in America, in our modern culture, we had to actually draw dividing lines about what, age is appropriate for sex. But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, as long as he's not breaking the law, what are we even doing?
Whoa! Where are we going with
What
this?
we're doing, what we're
What are
doing,
we going
what
with
we're
this
doing
one?
is explaining
Hold it.
why, and we're calling out pedal behavior because the person that was out here doing this, he was grooming her.
Yeah, I'm
He was
trying to figure
grooming her.
out.
Perhaps, but
I mean,
again,
no, I was
again,
I
am
mean,
I
no,
incorrect?
he
Am I
was grooming her.
incorrect about what I just said about the historical context, though?
Okay. If you want to say that one, if you're trying to use that card right there, and I'm just saying, then be prepared when they start saying age ain't nothing but a number. Oh, right, they were doing that shit too.
No,
Been doing it.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
can
no,
I?
no, 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 no. The context is her parents okayed it every step of the way, gave it their final blessing, and now there's another family. That's the order. That's the plan.
Can
You
I?
talking about this hypothetical? Or you talking about this situation that
No,
you decided was
I'm
actual?
not talking about hypothetically. I'm talking about the way that situation is supposed to work out.
That
Listen to what Michelle just
He
laid
didn't even
out.
marry
If
the
the
bitch. He
parents,
just fucked her
but
up.
hold on. If the parents agree to the marriage, and I asked Michelle, did he? She said he got married. So I asked her if the marriage was legal or not. This is how we started this whole line of
I'm
conversation.
not saying that's
But
the reason why
again,
I cut it off
if
and
the
said that they're not married. That's the
They're
reason why I
not.
okay,
stopped you and
so
said they're not
Gary's
so
married.
already
so
broke that
again,
down. They're not even married.
now we're talking about crime again. We're clearly talking about a crime. So again,
Thank
it's
you.
clear. The line is clear.
That's the
So if
reason why
it's
I
a
kept on
marriage
walking it
and the
back to
parents
15.
okayed it, and if the parents were good with it, I'm not even trying to get that deep into it. If it was a crime, then the action to take is clear. He obviously committed a
Thank you.
crime.
But
Yeah.
R.
Hey,
Kelly, everyone knows how old was Aaliyah when R. Kelly got married
Are
her
we
behind
using
her parents.
Aaliyah now? Are we really using the
I'm
Aaliyah
not gonna
card?
do this. Yeah, we're not
Are
gonna
we
use
using
R.
the Aaliyah
Kelly and
card?
Elvis
Is this
Presley.
how
Like, come on,
desperate
come
we've
on.
gotten
Those
now?
people are
Um,
married.
Listen.
Yeah.
I
Is this
guess
how?
my question was, this was a conversation that y'all were having, and maybe Ben, I don't, I have a kid on the way, so I probably not the one to speak to this, but to the rest of the men. One of the ladies said that you can't stop a 16-year-old girl from doing what she wants to do.
Fuck?
Mhm.
What?
From a father's perspective, do y'all
That's my
believe that?
point.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
straight
my
up.
whole point. That's why I said, listen, I disown this little hoe.
So I'll
So
put it
And
like
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
so
I
listen,
have
I
Did you
think
not?
I'm
Do
gonna give
you
you my
not hear?
answer.
I'm
hold
asking
up,
you
man.
guys. I'm asking guys. I'm asking the fathers.
Okay.
We have one man who says, if my 16-year-old is out there having sex, I'm going to disown her. Okay, then
You
why
can't
are you
do
going to
that.
let her date?
Okay,
You
I got
either
three.
you
Hold on,
either have
hold
to
on.
have it in your mind.
Why do you
You
think?
want my answer?
Hold on, stop,
Hold on.
Michelle.
Let
That is
us
so
answer the
silly.
question.
Why do you
Okay,
assume
so
I'm letting her date? That's the whole problem in a nutshell. I'm not letting her do anything. She's choosing to do things, choosing to disrespect my family name, me personally as her father. And there is, what do you want me to do? Beat her ass? I can't. So the only next
No,
best thing to do is to cut you loose. Go be
no,
free.
I
so
just
Go
I
free.
wait a minute. You're
Here's the deal.
missing the
Go
Here,
point
free,
of
young
my
hoe. Go
question.
I
free.
disagree.
You're
let a
missing the
father
point of my
I
question. You're missing
let
the
a
point of my question.
go
man,
ahead.
My question is, at 16, your daughter comes to you and says, Dad, I want to start dating. The question becomes, why are you allowing your daughter to date? Is she
Okay.
No, the
dating for
answer to the
marriage or
question
Let's
is
divorce?
answer. Let's
no.
answer your
No,
question,
okay.
Michelle.
Michelle, the
Let
answer
me
to
get in.
that question is no. This is your whole frame of context is wrong. If my 16-year-old daughter comes to me with that, the answer is no. It's not even a conversation about
But
why you want
why?
to date.
See,
It's an explanation of why you should not be doing this. That's the
that's the
conversation.
problem right
Bro,
there.
Hold on.
See,
Can
Let me.
can I
I
say
can
one
Okay.
thing? Can I say one
Let
thing?
let a father of
go
three
ahead, Charlene.
girls get
Go
up
ahead,
in
Can I
here.
Charlene.
yeah,
say?
because
Can
after
I say
that, I mean,
one
I
Yeah,
wanted
thing?
I
to,
got trained
but I
with
want, but wait,
Can I?
she asked the fathers question.
Yeah,
I
the
only heard one
fathers.
person, and I only heard
Yeah.
one man's answer. I wanted to hear the rest, and I was
All right,
trying to get
go
mine
ahead,
too.
Trey. Go ahead,
Thank you.
Trey.
Now,
After Trey, Hunter.
as a father of a 27, 20, and 17-year-old, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. You as a man, you have no choice in the matter. And these, if they're in public schools these days, you have no choice whatsoever. If they're coming to you at 16, telling you or asking you, "Can I date?" They've been doing it since they were 14. Now, it all goes back to how you started raising them. When they come out
Hmm.
the womb as a father, that's when the real grooming starts. You groom them to wait until whatever 16, 18, 17, whatever the age of consent is for them personally in your state. You groom them towards that, because trust me, they're going to know those laws. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, in BMT, you know this, bro. In them military towns, those girls in high school, when they hear those commercials on the radio, E1 and up, get financing. They see E2s, E3s rolling around here in brand new cars. And them daggone high school girls be on it. So you as a man,
Oh
you
my
have to
God.
start young and guide your daughter. But if she's 16 and she links up with a 21-year-old military dude, by the time she's pregnant, it's too late. At that point, it's, hey, dude, sit down. Let me introduce you to my shotgun. What y'all
Okay,
fixing to
so
do? Are
all
y'all,
right,
y'all
so my
Can
answer is this:
I agree
at
with Trey?
16,
Go ahead.
at 16, whatever the situation is, I kind of, I mean, mostly agree with them as far as like you have to be in your child's life and know your child from young. Because if your child is doing certain things by 16, there was signs already by the time that that child was 12 or 14. That child didn't just begin acting out. Okay, so that means that you knew or you saw signs. You have to be, you have to know your children. You have, I mean, every real parent knows which child is capable of doing what and what age. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. And if you are surprised, by the time that person, by the time their child is 16, you've already raised them to make those decisions. You've already instilled the values. Let me say that. Those core beliefs, those core values, and those core morals. So by the time they're 16, they should be ready to come out there, and you should be. You can stand back and be like, okay, that's my work, that's my child. I gotta trust that child to make the right decision that I've taught them to make. It's just what it is. So you don't have control, but at the end of the day, you've already done. If you did your job the right way, you shouldn't be stressed out about this. That's
Okay,
just my
so
position.
I just wanted to say something. So I agree with Trey and Educated Aries because you cannot constrain a child, especially a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, shit, even a 14-year-old. You have to start grooming them when they're young. You have to give them that trust and build that up.
And
Because when they get older and you constrain them, they're gonna bust out and go buck wild. And that's the last thing you want. So you need to be able to trust them and give them the tools that and allow them to do them, because if not, you're in for a disaster. And that's right, you need to spend time with your kids and develop that bond, and you shouldn't have a problem.
but
Did one of y'all
to get
ladies
back to,
did
I
one
want
of
to get
y'all
back
ladies
to,
say that it was wrong for a father to groom his daughter to serve men?
no,
Nobody said that.
nobody said that.
Okay.
What we're
All right,
saying is,
cool. I don't want to put words in
um,
your mouth, so cool.
no, even my husband, I mean, I will say this. My husband wanted literally his daughters to wait to be virgins when they got married. That's what he really wanted. But at some point in time, it's you have to ask yourself, why am I letting my 16-year-old daughter go out on a date? Is she looking for fun? Or is she looking for marriage? And what is the guy looking for? If the guy is just looking to pump and dump, no, you don't want that. So 2 out of my 3 daughters, they were chaperoned on their dates until they turned 18. It just was what it was. And I think that a lot of people sit up there and go, why is a 16-year-old dating a 20-year-old? Probably because he's more marriage minded. And for the fathers, I mean, I'm asking an honest question. When your 16-year-old comes to you and like, this is my boyfriend, are you her boyfriend because you
I
want to
don't think
have
my
sex?
16-year-old daughter is trying to get married. That's what it is. At 16, she's just trying to have sex. I don't think she's really trying to get married.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
30 years ago, culture was different. 30 years and before, yeah, 16 years old, yeah, they were thinking marriage minded, but not now, not with everything that's being pumped in their ears from the media. Now, if we take this, now let's just, magically go to a more patriarchal country, south of the border. At 16, girl comes to her father with a 24-year-old who's stable. That family is marrying that daughter off. If that man could do this, because most countries, yeah, I worked in them south of the border, the age of consent is 16. And here's the deal. You either have a daughter you're going to take care of, that daughter's going to turn into a prostitute at 18, or she gets with guy at 24 and has a loving, stable family. And, they're they become grandmas and grandpas 40 years from now, and they just laugh it off. I
What
mean,
the
that's
hell? Those
because
are only two choices in life.
that's a patriarchy. There is no child support system.
Oh my God.
There's no government assistance in countries south of the border. It's meaning that 18 and so you get a 23-year-old single mom in Mexico. Her choices are marry an older guy or go out there and become a prostitute. That's their only two choices if they ain't
What
got no
the
skills.
hell?
Yeah.
That's
So
just sad.
congratulations.
I wanna
What's
go
a
live
better
over there.
choice? What's a better choice, creative?
What do you mean? What's a better choice? What if she's young and she wants to like attorney Michelle? She wants to become an attorney. She wants to become a judge. What if she can't
Who
have
cares?
kids? Is she deemed to the world? Because she can't. I can't get on board with that, and I won't.
Well,
I'm
don't
sorry.
move to one of those countries, but
I
you're in
will not.
America. Be glad. So all these people that hate America, all these community, oh, America sucks. No, be glad you're over here where women are taken care of regardless. Because in most countries, nah, you for the streets, literally.
I'm glad. I'm here. There you go.
Yeah, like I said, love my country, love this Constitution.
Oh, now y'all red, white, and blue.
Oh yeah, it's all red, white, and blue. I think,
I feel it.
but I
I
think
feel it.
the problem in America is, like you said, when you send kids to public schools, they do, force the issue on the kids. They force sex education on the kids. They force kids to start thinking about sex. I wish I could have put my daughters in an all-girls school as soon as they turned 12, but it is what it is. Young boys are encouraged to have sex, and young girls are no longer told to hold on to their virginity. They really aren't. It's like, okay, the government says 16 is legal, and parents sit up there and go, I don't want my child to just have sex for fun. It creates problems long term. There are some studies that show that every time a woman has sex with a man and he ejaculates in her, they can find his DNA years later in her brain. These are real scientific studies. So I think that the problem is not the guy. Why is a guy dating a 20-year-old and calling her his spiritual wife or his wife? The problem is, why are 16-year-old girls having sex outside of marriage? That's a bigger problem in my book.
I'm with you on that. I have no problem with a 16-year-old in her mind whose fathers gave the blessing having sex in a marriage. No problem whatsoever. My issue is that, like you said, the media and everything else pumping these kids from like cartoons, like media on up, that sex is the way. No, that's crazy.
That's why I'm homeschooling. Shout out to y'all for recommending it. And I'm gonna make that happen.
That's
Yeah.
This is nuts.
It is. It's a serious situation, and like I said, I'm much happier with my daughter being with an older man that is about marriage than a younger man that's all about sex, how many women he can have sex with. Everybody got quiet.
Now, like I said, but I already got the dude, the weirdo actor potential. He's saying that. Listen, when y'all crazy ass mofo religion nuts start saying spiritual wife and all that crazy shit, that just tells me you already are mentally fucked up. Once y'all start doing that Bible babble shit and throwing up my spiritual shit, like, I'm like, okay, we're back in Looney Tunes. So
Hey, what did AP do? Like, can you fill us in real quick? Short
yeah,
version.
so pretty much he had an open gate. His wife was telling him how they met at when she was 16. I guess they were going out.
How old is she now?
How old is she now? They're grown. They I think he's 40. He should be 40.
Yeah, he a military cat, man. A vet like us.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I
so she
know.
was 16 and he was 21.
Like 20. I think like 20 or 21. I would have to have the Nini come through, but literally,
Okay.
like I said, like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we got three of us up on here. Listen, the minute when you get married, if you get married in the military, your spouse's information is going to get put into that goddamn system, and if that age don't add the fuck up, yeah, that's your ass, buddy. That's the break for you. That's the break. You ain't.
But what's
You ain't
wrong with her being? That's what I'm saying. What's missing? Something's missing here. What's wrong with her being 16? That's legal, homeboy. If you know that,
yeah,
if the parents
yeah.
sign off on
So,
it,
no,
what state were
no.
they in?
No,
Yeah. What's?
he's not. It's not a legal thing to him. He's saying that's psychologically dysfunctional.
Oh, you're
That's
calling
that,
you calling on a moral issue, but that's what I'm saying. Legally, in the military, you know this, bro. If the parents
I've,
sign off, Elvis, there's nothing that
I've,
Priscilla's dad was an Air Force colonel. They signed off on it.
that was back
It's
in the
been,
and now right.
Well,
that
it's
Okay,
law
not.
hasn't
It's not
changed.
back in the day. Here's the thing.
right
BNT.
there you go,
Women.
David.
Women. No.
Back
No.
in the
No. 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 No.
day,
No. Yeah.
I
We
get
are
what Trey
not
is
back in
saying.
the day. We are
Right.
not back in the day. However, women have not become some new modern evolved creature. Women are still women, no matter what the fucking television tells you. And the fact of the matter is, mentally, physically is a whole other matter, but mentally, women are 16 for like 40 years.
So,
Facts.
like I said,
Shut. I'm
I'm
about
not.
to curse him out. I'm about to curse you out, hood conservative. Like, why
What?
would you
Oh,
say
cool.
some dumb shit like that? Like, what the
Because
fuck?
it's true,
Why do
creative.
so
Because
why
you're
do we
still
why do
16.
we have
Because
female
you're still
judges? Why do we
16.
have attorneys?
Okay, creative. You know why we don't go in on you
Well,
like we do the other women? Because you sound like you're like 18 or 19. You sound like a young hot girl. That's why we're nice to you, creative. We have conversations in the back like, yeah, we like her voice. She sounds all cute and young, so we won't go in on her. That's what men like, creative. That's why you don't catch hell with all the crazy stuff you be saying.
I
no,
know.
listen,
That's why you guys are showing me. You guys are degenerates. I
What?
could see
Oh,
it.
I'm giving you
You guys
props.
like
Liking
looks. That's
pretty
what it
girls is
is. You guys
degenerates,
like
right?
looks.
That's
It's a
so
fantasy.
for
You guys like
women
fantasy. That's
exist.
it.
Women live and die on their beauty, but when a man appreciates a woman's beauty, he's the bad guy. You see how retarded this is? This is why I
No.
said what I said. You're 16 for 40 years. That's how
Why are
it
you
works.
tell
16
me,
for 40 years? That's
tell me.
that's your
Okay, so
mindset.
Because that's what a female, your body is chemically retarded up until you're like stop having babies, and then once you hit grandmother age you get a little bit more rational.
Man,
I'm
You
trying to,
you
y'all
not
I'm
y'all
trying to,
just
making
need a
I'm
sense
trying to
at
hotel
figure
room.
out.
all. I don't
Man,
understand what
I'm
you're
trying to figure this
saying.
man,
out. I need y'all to help me understand this. The why, what would benefit a man to marrying a 16-year-old?
He can groom her. We've said that.
well,
It's Do you not hear the men saying that once a woman becomes independent, she's trash? So if
Right,
you
so
marry
now you
a
can train
woman,
your wife from scratch. Yeah, you train her
Yeah.
from the ground up.
Why don't y'all think women are equal as you? And I'm not saying equal as in, bodily, but like equal as in mind and
because y'all,
ambition and wanting to do
Well, the
things. Like
brain
why?
is a physical thing. You realize
look,
your brain physically exists, right? It's not an
Y'all are
imaginary
going
thing.
down a dark fucking path, man, and I
hey,
just
Hood
don't know.
told
No,
Well,
they
y'all creative.
misogynist. And
my
you guys
brain,
know y'all
my brain is
misogynist,
not
right?
like your brain.
I
No,
told
I'm
y'all
not
to
You
keep
don't
entertaining y'all.
like
put
me, and
your
I'm
real
not like
name
I'm not.
on
you.
here, and y'all won't do it.
Y'all can ride
No,
this pale
I'm
horse by
I'm
yourself.
I'm, I'm answering the question. Your brain ain't like my brain.
I
Yeah.
listen. I told you put your real name on your channel and cam the fuck up. Like
Why
let
you
the
want us
world
to
know who
cam
you
up?
What
are.
does that have
Stop
to do with
that.
anything? I
look,
We
am
this
want
is
to
who
the
I
see
first
you
am.
time I've
cam up.
ever heard. This is the first time I've ever heard that men mature faster than women. It's always the reverse.
No,
Our
y'all
brain,
mature
women's
faster.
brains, women. It's scientifically proven that women mature faster than men.
Physically, yeah. That's why 20-year-old man, 16-year-old woman, you physically mature faster.
We're talking about mentally, you
I
dimwit.
just talked
Like
about mentally, and you stay 16 for 40 years.
I
When you
don't know.
talk about
I
mentally,
can't.
yes,
I'm sorry. I just can't get on board with it.
most
You're
women
funny.
stay in their frame of mind as like teenage girls. They don't like losing
So
that young vibe. They don't
how
want to
is it
be
that women
old.
are owning businesses? How is it that women are taking over the? The
Most
workforce. How is
successful
it?
business women have a lot of
Come on,
most
please
successful
tell me.
business
I want
women
you
have
to
a lot of men
entertain this
around.
to me. Like
I,
how?
I, I don't I don't
How
Most
see
is
many
most
it?
female.
successful business women have a lot of men around. That is a
Yeah,
fact.
I
Only
don't
thing
see many. I don't see many
I'm gonna
female
say,
plumbers out here.
I'm
Female electricians. I don't see them out there.
There are female electricians. I'm one of them.
Oh
So
my
go
God.
ahead.
Oh my goodness. You ain't an
I'm
electrician
gonna
and
say
nothing. You up here on the
the
panel sounding
actuary,
young.
you
Oh,
know,
that's what you're saying.
a
Okay.
guy under 25 pays higher insurance because actuaries have determined that men do not mature as fast as women. My daughter
What do
pays
you
less in insurance, car insurance, because she's a female. Her
define
boyfriend
mature?
pays more because he's under 25,
And how
Define
old is your
mature.
daughter?
21.
Define mature.
I said actuaries have determined, actuaries, they've studied and made a decision based on scientific evidence that men are less mature than women. Until men turn 25, they cannot, their insurance is higher.
Well, right away, when you're talking about insurance actuaries, it's not based on maturity. It's based on who's more likely to pay. And what he's saying is that a young 20-something-year-old woman is just more likely to pay. That there are
That
reasons
takes
behind that. Who
maturity, right?
knows?
Does that take
No, not
maturity to
necessarily.
pay?
That takes daddy's money. But
How is that daddy's
again, when you're a
money?
young man,
What's the comparison? Where you
when you're a
getting this
young
from?
man, the world is
What
different from a
community do
young
you come
woman.
from? Okay.
Again, the
Yeah,
world for a young man
Do
is
you come
different.
from the
It
black
just is.
community where single moms are taking care of the kids and they are working? I want to know
We're
what
talking. No,
community
no,
do
no,
you
no,
come
no, no, no,
from?
no. You
Come
just pulled up
on, so
national statistics
conservative.
about you just pulled up statistics about insurance. They don't do broad numbers just based on the hood stupid culture. They're taking a wide look at human behavior and the nation. And so that's how they make that reality. It's not about whether I came from the hood or not. And for the fact of the matter is, why would you want to measure anything based on whether you came from the hood or not? You know how retarded you sound?
You know why I say
I would
that
like
is
to have a
because
poll.
if you came from there and you see all these women are working and taking care of the kids, why do you have that kind of mindset that you
I
do?
I
I
would
don't
like to
What
have a
hood you come
I would
understand.
like to
from?
have a
Come
poll.
on, thinking that women
What hood
have
you come from
16-year-old
is where it's
minds
nice and the
before the
women are
years.
just
Like
happy.
where you getting this from?
I would like
This
to
So
is
have a
very
in your
backwards.
picture of
David.
the hood, the women are
Hold on, wait,
hardworking,
hold on, David.
happy, good mothers.
Hold on, David.
I never
So
said all that.
I
I
put a
just
poll
said
in
I
the
see them
chat.
working
Yeah,
the most.
you can't say that stupid shit. Shut up.
We put a
Are
poll in
you
the
telling
chat.
me that?
We put the poll in the chat. If y'all can, in the poll in the chat, please, if you want to, vote. Is it lucrative for a man to groom or deal with a 16-year-old?
Yo,
Yes
the
or
way
no?
you phrase that is so creepy.
Lucrative.
I
Like,
know
That's.
Yeah,
he's
man.
a grown man. Hold
I'm
up,
gonna go with no.
bro.
I'm gonna
Is
go
that
Yeah,
with
is
man.
that
no, since
creepy?
that's the question.
Yeah.
Not in
no,
not in
no,
this
no, no,
scenario.
no, 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 no.
I would
See,
say in
you see,
Africa
no.
or
See, this is the
Mexico,
No,
problem.
it
This
no,
is
would
the
no,
have
it's
more
problem.
creepy.
rights than it
No,
does.
no,
Y'all
don't be
scared. Y'all
creepy.
scared. Y'all scared. No, I put yes.
Nigga,
If it
yeah,
wasn't for
you're
that,
right.
the
You're right.
cartels
I
would
was
not
scared.
Not in the
exist.
I
US. I would say not
Listen,
in the
cartels
US.
would
But
not
go ahead.
exist if it wasn't lucrative. So let's keep it a buck. Y'all don't
You're
want
right.
to
I
talk
was
about what's
scared.
really going
I'll
on
take
here.
that.
Yeah, it's
I'll take that,
lucrative than a
David.
motherfucker. That shit
I
lucrative
would
like
say
crack
not
and
in the
heroin.
US. I would
I
say
You
know.
not
guys
in the
remember,
US.
I'll be
do
scared.
y'all,
I'll be scared.
speaking of the mafia, do y'all remember the 17-year-old girl who sold her 17, 18-year-old, maybe she was 19. She sold her virginity for $1 million.
Well,
Yeah, because men are they are manipulative. They like
she
fantasy.
powered up.
How
Hold
is
up.
Men
that a
like
Hold on.
man
Who is
fantasy.
how
manipulating?
man the manipulative one? What the hell? Like I said, hell,
Wow.
I would say men
creative.
like fantasy.
You
They
better
so
like
you
they
so
like what's
better
on the
be
hold on,
creative.
outside
hold on,
of
hold
the
on. No,
Creative.
no,
what is
stop it, stop,
underneath.
everybody,
Hold on.
stop,
What
stop.
is
So,
real?
Creative is
so,
creative is
so
I'm
men
gonna
are
manipulate this girl
manipulative
with my
because
million
women are
dollars.
able, because a woman is able to make $1 million off her virginity. That makes the man manipulative.
You
a
just
free
made $1
zone. This
million.
is why
That's a
creative.
whole fucking come
I
up.
don't think he's manipulative. I love it. I like it. I
Creative.
entertain stuff like
You
that.
are
I
you are
think it's
17 and a
the
half
greatest.
in your mind, creative. You are
I
17
think
and a
it's
half.
the greatest. I
See,
love it.
Trey, yeah, they know I'm not wrong about this. They
Yeah.
stay 16 and they want to be 16 for 40 years. They don't want to be mature, responsible adult women. That shit sounds scary to them.
Shut the
Man,
fuck
Sound
up.
like their
You wouldn't even know
grandmothers.
my life.
You
You
sound like their
creative.
grandmother. You don't want to
look
be like your
good right
grandmother.
now, but go ahead. Keep
Creative.
talking.
All we got to do is make y'all laugh and the panties come down. That's it.
I don't know about all that. You gotta look good.
Nah, this.
You look good. You got money.
Nah,
Oh,
if you went to my
reverse the
Nah.
if you
order.
went to my if you went to my electrical school, we would have been smashed. Come on, stop playing.
No, I highly doubt that. If
Yeah.
I'm in school, I don't see the people in my class, so that's
Hey, you would have been like,
Well,
man, he was telling a joke.
But
Next thing
you
you know,
could
he was running
dream.
all up in
You
me.
know, dreams are real. You could dream.
I don't know how it happened.
You could dream. Once upon a time, you could
so
dream.
we're looking at the poll right now. God damn it, I'm scared to look at this motherfucker. So far the poll is already at right now for yes 17%, no 83%. So far the poll.
BMT, it's such a weird question the way you phrased it because the ladies
Nigga,
phrased it
it's
opposite earlier. No. Listen to me.
how else would people
Calm
look at
down.
it, man?
Calm down, bro. I said versus how the ladies framed it
Right.
earlier. You
Well,
said a
okay.
16-year-old woman. Well, the ladies this whole time have been saying a young girl. You see, that's what I'm talking about. The difference in how you frame the question versus
You
what
want
the
me to say
ladies
young?
have been saying.
Well, no.
Say young?
Even BMT is subconsciously agreeing with my 16-year-old premise. All adult women are 16-year-old girls, bro. That's just mentally speaking. That's how they're framed,
Oh
and they
my
stay in
god!
that frame for
And you
a
still
long
talk? Why
time.
are you talking?
No,
Like I don't understand.
Because
Like
he
no,
just
no,
keep
how
proving my
is
point.
this girl
Like
no.
keeping in
reality
mind that she
asserts
has to
itself no
raise
matter what.
kids? Like you
Down to
calm
Reality
it. Go
just
sit down
asserts itself,
somewhere. It's
sweetie. That's what it
okay.
is.
It's
You're
okay,
mad
white
at reality.
conservative. It's okay. Go sit
where we
down.
are.
Your feminism is pissing you off right now.
I want to question. So here's the
Relax
thing
for
about
you.
it. Do y'all think it would benefit society if we went back to the older model of courting for
Yes.
the older men to get with the younger girl? Hey, she just finished. Fuck going to high school. You're at ninth grade education. I found you Zebediah. He's a
All they do in
carpenter.
high school is suck dick and smoke cigarettes. They don't need that shit.
Jesus Christ, Steve. Go there.
Homeschool, bro. Homeschool.
Oh, Charlene, it's over for a lot of y'all women right now. This
What?
Yeah.
Charlene, I
Why
don't
you
got.
sitting here believing the misogynist on the panel? I don't
I'm
understand.
not.
Oh,
You
okay.
on
So
here
BMT.
believing misogynist.
I did not even. I'm not even agreeing with that. I actually said, listen, I'm not
Okay.
riding this. I'm not
Why
riding
would
All
you
right.
say that?
All right,
I'm
so
not.
BMT,
No.
creative. When that girl is 30 and she's got what 4 or 5 bedroom house, cars. She managing her husband's business. All her kids are homeschooled or in private school, and she looking at 45-year-old women out here
You
twerking on
guys put
Bumble.
this man
No, no,
on the
no, no, no,
pedestal. Is this
no,
man?
no, creative,
all this
creative.
shit?
Which
Like,
woman?
come
Which
on.
woman? Which woman has it better? That 30-year-old who got married young to an older guy, or that 45-year-old single woman on Bumble? You know what I'm saying? Calling up Kevin Samuels, RIP, the KS. You know what I'm saying? Which woman got it better?
Trey, you already know I don't believe in that stuff that you believe in, but
No. Which woman got it better
Hey,
though?
BMT,
The
BMT. I
30
need
year
to
old.
put you
I will
on.
say, I'm old fashioned. I'm from the South. I'm going to say it like
Thank you,
this.
Michelle.
At the end of the day, men are going to date for one of two reasons. They're either trying to fuck or they're trying to get married.
there you
When
go.
you understand that as a woman, you have to decide which are you presenting yourself. Are you a fuck or are you a marriage material?
I agree with that, presenting yourself in a certain way.
So when we have these 16-year-olds dating, we have to ingrain in them those same principles. They have to look at a man and say, is this a guy I want to fuck or is this a guy I want to marry? If we push young girls towards marriage, please try to wait until you find the one. Then we won't have all these baby mama dramas going on.
But you know what? I think it's just experience. It's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. Like oh my God, you're 18 and you're gonna meet some guy who's gonna come and take care of you and do all these things. That to me is a fantasy and a Cinderella story that you're trying to paint also. Because you
You
don't
mean
know the
human history?
potential. Hear me
You,
out. You
you
don't know.
you're literally calling human history a fantasy, though. Like that's what has
Oh
happened.
my
Some
gosh.
man has
Can
always
I
taken
finish,
care of a
Juan?
woman.
Nobody is saying anything like that. I'm just saying you do not know. The girl has to vet these men and find that diamond in the rough. She's not just gonna automatically find him within 1 or 2 years. It's gonna take her some time to find that
You're
person.
not looking for
It's
a
not
diamond in the
going to
rough.
happen overnight.
You're not
It's a
looking for a
diamond in the
diamond
rough.
in the rough. No,
You telling me
no.
a whole bunch of guys out here that can provide a 5 bedroom house, some cars, and a
All
luxurious
right, all right,
lifestyle
all right,
for a woman.
all right, all
Okay,
right.
okay. Here,
All right, hold on.
let me
Give me
respond.
two
Can I
seconds. Give me 2
respond to that
seconds,
one?
Trey.
I
Give me
bet,
two
bet, bet.
seconds. Let me 2 seconds. Creative solutions. Think of it like this, right? Picture all the men in the world that are just so sexy that you would fucking suck them just as soon as they showed up, they got it, right? Now erase all those men from the husband hunt. There you go.
Uh, I,
I stand on what I said. Why you in this? This today's world. There's a lot of men. Who are wolves in sheep's clothing. There's a lot of people who lie.
I
So
just
a
told you
woman,
what to do. I
there
it
you
doesn't
go.
literally
matter.
told
She
you what
still
to
has to
do.
vet. A woman.
Okay.
I just told you the game plan, how to start
You
it
know
out.
what?
Just right there. Start
I
from
just
that.
can't get on.
Well,
Listen, I'm
okay,
telling you from
creative.
experience, from
I'm,
lots of
I'm,
women
I'm
experience. Like I
okay,
don't
creative.
understand. Yes.
You've
I'll
been
answer.
thinking with your pussy. That's your experience. You've been
No, no, no,
thinking
no, no.
with your pussy.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Fuck up.
In
Like
in
you
in
keep
five
talking.
creative, that 30-year-old with the 5 bedroom house, she has five, bedroom vagina. That's what matters. She has 5 bedroom looks. She has 5 bedroom attitude. She has 5 bedroom motherly skills. That's what matters to those men that will give that woman that. And David told you, hey, I ain't gonna even front. I was one of the dudes David was talking about back in the day, so I'll be honest. I was running out there, slash, slash, slash is what it is. Run through them. And, I'm just telling you from experience.
And like I
Sure.
said, people might call me a gold digger. I'm a lawyer, so I don't know why they would do that. But anyway, I've always been taught that no kissing on the first date. Sorry if you don't like that, we won't have a second date. I don't kiss on the first date. I have rules. We're not going to smash on the second date. You're going to have to spend time with me, not necessarily money, but yeah, when you spend time, you're going to wind up spending money. When women set the standards, okay, why am I seeing this guy? If he hasn't called me in 3 days, oh no, don't bother calling me again, because I could be dead and buried in 3 days. So I do not have a problem with a 16-year-old girl getting with a man that wants to be monogamous with her. That beats being with a man that is just out to smash as many women as he can.
I'm not on board. So I think that a woman, she should, I think she should find some kind of happiness for herself, and that's either she go to school, find something she likes to do, and she could date while she's doing that. So that's just me. But I want her to have some kind of security within herself, just in case anything were to happen to her in the future. And, I just want her to have her own personal happiness. And I'm not saying that she can't, get married or anything like that. I just want for her to know herself before she gets into a relationship and she puts everything into a man. So yeah, that's
When
just me.
women say know themselves, when women say I'm going to go out and find myself, they just walk through a
Nobody is
valley of
saying go
dicks.
and fuck a whole bunch of guys.
That's all that, but that's literally what winds up
That's what
happening. You
you
just
want to
walk through a
hear.
valley of
Nobody is
dicks,
saying
and you
that.
come
No,
out the other side of
oh
it like you know
Lord.
yourself all of a sudden. Like, no,
That's
you
what you
don't.
thinking. Cause you thinking with your small head. That's all you thinking about is with your dick. Oh, she's gonna go sleep with a whole
What the
bunch
hell
of
does
guys.
know myself
Nobody
mean
is
then?
saying that.
What does know myself mean? What? No, give it to me in words I understand.
Okay, so when I say go out there, know yourself, go out there and go have some experiences. And I'm not talking about sexual. I'm talking about like going to
Dick, you
school.
literally talking about dick. Come on,
That's
why you
what you
capping?
you thinking with your small head. That's what you think. I'm
You
talking
just don't
about
want
like
to
going to
acknowledge it.
plays, go travel,
Okay.
go try
All right.
You can
different
do that.
food. Like
You
what
can do
you
that
go
Lesbian
to
while you're
dick,
married.
school.
Italian dick, Hawaiian dick, taxi
Okay.
You
cab
know,
driver dick, garbage man
Real.
dick. Like this is all you're
You
really
say
talking
that,
about.
but when a
Hey,
woman, I think when you're young and you don't know yourself, you latch onto somebody and you put your all into that person. And
eh,
I've
eh,
seen women do that all the time. So that's why I say that.
hey, creative. If
You
I
guys
was
don't have
single,
to agree with me. I don't care. That's just me.
uh, creative with I make really good money at 47 years old. If I did that to 90% of these, what you just say 25-year on up girls, destination vacations, they smashing before we even get off. As soon as we hit the hotel room, hotel game, because that's how that mind works. They're like, ooh, I'm turned on. Whoa, older man, more mature. He tells me what to do. He plans the vacation. He orders for me. He knows what drink I want. Even if he just does it. Boom, you're giving it up. No questions asked.
Next thing you know,
see,
you
I'm
writing a
not.
book that gets turned into a movie about some
I
old
don't know.
bitches
I
going on
feel like I
vacation.
don't
See,
know. I just
see,
can't get on board. But this is
I
only
just,
y'all mind thing, but it's okay. That's how way
it's,
it is what it is.
I think that a lot of women have the idea that if they get married, they can't fulfill their other dreams. They can't go to college. They can't open up a business. But, it's very important when you do get married not to lose yourself. It's very important. So, no matter what age you are, when you have kids, it adds an extra layer of responsibility. So, I think the way society is actually set up right now, the person that has a kid at 16, they're going to get help, as opposed to the woman that has children at 36. She's not going to get any help. She's going to have to help herself. The reality is that our bodies were made to have children younger. That 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds have children. Then by the time that they're 40, they can go back to school. They're mature. They're taking more seriously in the workforce. So that's my 2 cents on it.
That's Michelle, that's you. Nah, but okay. I should say no to that because when I was in my household, I had to take care of my little brothers and my little sisters. So just thinking about having to take care of kids again, it's too much stress. And I don't know.
That's
I
fine.
just
That's a personal choice,
How old are
though.
you now?
It doesn't.
How old are you now?
huh?
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
Why?
I mean, you can say a range, like 30-ish.
Yeah, around that age.
And you
Mentally 17 and a half.
and because you had to take care of your siblings, you don't want to have kids yet. You don't have any kids yet.
No, I have a son right now. It's just me. I want to have more kids, right? But you know what? I still want to establish
Ooh,
myself.
ooh. See, Nichelle, back. Get out of there, Nichelle. You starting to pick out a scab.
No, I don't care.
I mean, I do believe that um, having kids is a much deeper commitment than just getting married.
Hey,
I agree.
did your kid's father got custody?
No, I have my child.
Oh, see, you're already behind the power curve on getting another man. It is what it is.
How am I behind the power curve?
Because okay, see,
I'm not. No, I'm
you
not
gonna sit up here and
behind
say that dudes don't look at single moms differently?
Bro, I
I
heard
have
I
no
heard the
problem
sadness
with
creep
that.
into the conversation.
Yeah,
I knew
I have no problem with
I knew
that.
I heard it. I know. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
come on, and we not even picking at you, creative. We keeping it
I
a
know,
buck.
I know, I know. I don't trust the child's father to leave him with him. And let's just say my son wants to be with me, and it's a better dynamic, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
And my
so your
son is
choice.
advanced, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no shade, but your choices, I'm with it. My ex-wife is like, hot garbage. So the problems my kids have now dealing with, the relationship with their mom is due to my choice. So I got to live with that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
Same here.
look, I'm just gonna be honest. Honest. I'm a woman who knows what I want and gets what I want. So I knew I had 3 kids. I was very, very straight up, and I said, I have 3 kids. I'm gonna wait until they are grown out of the house. My twins graduated high school at 16. My youngest graduated 18, got a full ride scholarship. So when I went on the date with my current person that I'm with, I literally made him wait an hour just to see if he would. He did. And I told him, I said, I'm looking for marriage. And he proposed within 2 months.
Wow.
So you have to know what
why'd you make him wait an hour? Why did you make
You
him
gotta test
wait?
men. What she's doing is good. You gotta test them.
That sounds like some
The
bullshit.
games women play. Yeah, I got no comment on that. Yeah. Hey,
Well,
listen,
you
that's
do
the
have
thing,
to
though.
play
No
games.
matter
So we
what
have
I
to see
say
if he's
about
gonna go out on a
women
limb
are
for
going to be
you
women,
if
bro.
you're that really
No matter
important.
what it sounds like,
The
women are going to
independent
be
women,
women, and I
y'all.
kind of
Yeah,
respect that.
I
Yeah,
would
they're
let.
going to play games and all that shit. It is what it is.
You have to, because you just said we have to trust our lives in your hand. And especially, I know Nichelle probably got property and she got money and stuff. So she gotta play smart also. Like, you can't just be willy-nilly out there. You gotta think with your brain,
You gotta know that. You
I
gotta
mean, I'm
know
not saying
yourself.
it's like a lot.
Not even know. You gotta know that
And
you can
listen, not
trust
only
that
that,
person when you're in dire need.
as a man, I got to know you better than you know you. That's really what I'm talking about
Men
here.
don't do that. Men care about sex. I'm telling you.
Oh yes, they
Well, no,
do.
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Some of them, some, not all. I
If
would
I'm
I
gonna know,
can't
if
say
you see
all.
what Nichelle is talking about a marriage, if you actually gonna be that guy, if you as a man, once you acknowledge like I really fuck with her like that, I like her. Even if we just fucking, if I acknowledge to myself, nah, she cool, I like her. Mentally, I put you in a place in my mind where you're worth more. Your value went up mentally. That means I'll like do more for you. You can extract more from me mentally once you've kind of gained that value outside of just we fuck a little bit.
And this is why men. This is why whatever man you find creative, he's gonna be better than you, and he has to be because he has to do the thinking for him and you. He has to know you more than you know you. And so, if you want the man to lead, he's gonna have to naturally be better than you.
You're right.
So what's with all the misogyny talk? Like, why? I don't understand where the whole misogyny thing comes from. Like, don't you want men? Don't you want to be around men better than you?
I do,
So you
but
can at least pick.
the reason why I say misogynist because hood conservative is talking about how women are 16 in their mind, and that's how they are till they're 40. And I just
Listen.
don't agree with that. That's.
I
I
mean,
know
when
you
you
don't
find
agree, but
the right
you
man,
hate that you like it. You hate the fact
when you
that you
find the
like it,
right
and it's
man.
okay.
I mean, look, if you find the right man, you can let your guard down and you can be taken care of. And you do feel like you're 16. You want a man that makes you feel you're 16. So I can understand.
Shit.
Huh?
BMT, shut up. You don't get it. You don't just let the lady
You don't.
educate
I
you.
don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
BMT, this is a conversation for misogynists, bro. Let the misogynist handle this one.
Right. What the hell?
My bad.
You were saying, attorney, go ahead.
No, I'm
I'm
saying
sorry,
that
Michelle.
women,
You were making a point.
yeah, I'm making a point that when you find the right man, he will make you feel so safe and comfortable. You do become like a 16-year-old. You do become very dependent. You do become kind of like, what should I do? Do you want me to wear this? Do you want to eat that? You wind up basically becoming a 16-year-old because you're asking permission for so many things in your life that you just did before without asking permission, without a concern for how it affected somebody else. So yeah, women, when they find the right guy, if you're with a guy, it's like, oh fuck, I do whatever the fuck I want. That's not the right guy for you. He's not making you feel like he's a protector and a provider. And
I
sometimes it's
tell
just a
you, this
little
dick
thing.
can make you young forever.
No, I agree with attorney Nichelle. Like you just gotta find the right person. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
let
how
y'all in
Stella
on a
got.
little
That's how
secret.
Stella got her groove back.
I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. The guy that I'm with is 18 years
Ooh,
older than I am.
okay, all
What?
right.
Salute.
You got you a silver fox. Okay,
Salute. I
got
mean,
her a gray
hey.
beard. All
Yeah,
right, do your
yeah,
thing. Do your
yeah.
thing. What I'm gonna tell you, I'm happy that you
Ain't mad
happy.
at you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, so it's kind of like young guys are still in that age of. I group men into 3 different age groups. Forgive me, but there's the young guys that want to smash and dash. Then they're the ones that want somebody to help them pay the bills. Then there's the stage that men get into where they want someone with them for their final days. There is a stage men go through where it's like, if I fall in this house, I'm in this big old house all by myself. If I fall down the stairs, who's going to be coming to, who's going to care about me? My kids come by like maybe once a week. I might be laying here for a couple of days before somebody comes and they want a woman. They want a
You know, you
companion.
remind me of right now. And Free, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My new, like, she's like tall Irish bae, but my girl
Uh
from
huh.
Just Pearly Things, this new channel I've been watching, and a lot of times she every time on her show she kind of brings up the realities, and there was one particular clip where they kind of dove into it, where like older women are not giving younger women the bitter truth. They give a lot. There's been a lot of older women inducing younger women into this fucking extended fantasy. But the simple truth about how life breaks down over the course of 50, 60, 70 years of life, nobody's explaining that to these girls, and they're gonna hit a brick wall. They hit the wall, and then they're gonna be bitter forever.
Right. You are so right. Because
Yeah.
honestly, when I was growing up, my then fiance's mother was like, look, I've been married to a lawyer. You're going to be working 16, 18 hours. That is not, you cannot be a good mother if you're working those kind of hours. My son is going to be a doctor. If he wants to marry you right away, you have to promise that you'll wait to go to law school. We'll even pay for it. They did that for his sister-in-law. So she had her kids young, raised them, and then when they were about 12 and needed less attention, she went back to law school. So the path that a lot of women are taking, they are misguided. They hear like, oh, you have to go straight through. If you want to go to college right after. That's your focus. Books and boys don't mix. Focus on your career. Focus on your career. Once you get your career established, then you can start having a husband and having kids. They're forgetting the employer does not like mothers. The employer does not like working mothers, the woman that has to go and pick up the kids, the woman that has to stay home with the sick kids. People aren't being honest about that. That
I mean, I
if
think
you
can I say one thing real quick? I think it's not that it's not as simple. It's not personal, obviously, that employers don't like mothers. The fact of the matter is, becoming a mother is almost antithetical to earning a profit out in the open market. Because you can't really be a slave to 2 masters, and ultimately
right,
something has to come first, and you're going to sacrifice profits, and that's what's really on the table here. It's not that we hate motherhood. It's not you, because when you say it that way, it almost comes off personal, and it's not that. It's just numbers and math and reality.
true. I mean, I'm saying that there's a program called off ramping. and like KPMG, they started noticing that their CPAs, their, lawyers, that they were basically quitting because they could not get a work-life balance. And so they started an off-ramp program where they allowed their women to take up to 5 years off to dedicate themselves to their family as long as they took continuing education classes in their field. And they found that that was a way that they could retain women in the workplace. So
You see how
some
hard you got to
companies,
work as men? Do you see how much we have to reorganize the world just to give women this artificial sense of being like us?
I
Look at
mean,
what they have to
let's just
do
be
to
honest.
match just a fraction of our power.
I
Why
mean,
don't you
let's just
guys
be honest.
become single dads and take your kids? Take the child,
It,
when he's one, and
If we
allow the
have to
woman
take
to go
them,
out and
if we
work.
have to take them, if we
Yeah,
have to take them,
I
that
think
implies
men
I have
should
to
take the
fight you.
baby and take
If
care of the baby.
listen, I think women should give men the kid. How about that?
I listen. I'm on board with that. I 100% agree with that.
Lying ass.
I'm so serious. I am on board with it. If the man is stable and he's a good dad and he shows attributions, you damn
Now the
well
uh,
come and
caveats.
get your
Now the
children.
caveats. Right.
Come
Now the
and get your
caveats.
kids. Like I am on board with it.
All right. How about this? How about this?
I
What if
would
neither
even pay
parents
you
are
child
stable?
support. Let's get
What
it.
if both of them? What if both parties are just destitute? What if both parties are legally below the poverty line? They ain't got nothing going for themselves. Who should get automatic custody?
I think the man should get the custody. No, I'm just saying. The woman is gonna get the custody,
No, 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 no,
obviously.
no, no, no. I said what? Who should, not who does. When I talk about law, I'm asking you your
Oh,
opinion
I feel like
on
I
a
the
said,
woman
specific
should.
hypothetical.
I
The
say the
woman.
Who should?
women should,
The
if
woman.
if everything is equal, there's a reason you have the mother bear. You have a mother bear instinct that the mothers are the ones that are crying when they drop the kids off for the first day of school. The fathers may be there, but women have a bond to a child that is totally different than a man's bond. It's not that men don't have a bond with a child, but the expression mama baby, daddy's maybe, a man will take care of his stepkids like they are his own kids that are not even living in the house. And I always wonder when men say that. What do you mean by that? I treated them just like they were my own kids.
Yeah, but we're not talking about single mother bear. You're talking about an actual mother bear that stays with a papa bear. Like single
Right.
mother bear is just horrendous.
I
And
don't
And it
Michelle,
encourage it.
just
Michelle,
I'm
I
saying
would
so.
even I would take I would take that reality and extend you this kind of olive branch. Here's the scenario to solve that problem. Instead of just automatically giving custody to the mom and then automatically taking money from the dad in whatever way you can, how about this? The father is mandated to provide a home for the child. Now, the reality of it is he probably can't provide that home and take care of the child himself. So the mom is going to more than likely be a part of that deal.
I mean, what I find, honestly, especially in this independent community, I'm going to give you the numbers. This was a couple of years ago, so they may seem kind of weird. A single mother, a married mother with 2 autistic kids, special needs kids. They were toddlers. They were preschool age kids. She comes to me and she goes, I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to get my own money. I'm like, what are you doing? Who's taking care of your kids? She goes, I put them in daycare. He's paying half the daycare bill. I said, how much is daycare for your 2 kids? She said, oh, it's $400 a week, but he's paying half. I said, oh, how much are you making? She said $10 an hour. But
What, $200 a week? He's paying more
See, if
for
she would have
daycare.
went to school,
He's got to pay more for daycare than she earns every week. You see what
but
I mean? Look what
now
they
she
have to
gotta
do
suck
just to
for
match a
them.
fraction of our power.
yeah, but a lot of women have been taught in circles that's like, if he's paying the car note, you need to pay the insurance. If he's paying it's like, you're not marriage is not about you pay this, he pay that. It's we got some bills to pay. So I
Yeah.
think when people are younger, they're more into the we. They leave their parents' home and they go to their husband's home. It's a we.
Mm-hmm.
But when women get out into the workforce themselves and have their own apartment, I don't care if they've gone to college or whatnot. You could be working at Walmart and making enough to pay your bills. It creates an independence that you can make it. So when you meet a man, it is harder to suddenly go, oh, I need the dishes done before you go to bed. Huh? What? That no. The dishes get done when the housekeeper get in the morning.
See, now that you're kind of coming at it from a weird angle, and that
I didn't
housekeeper thing.
understand that,
This is
was it?
something that's come up. Yeah, this is something that came up in a different conversation where it's almost like you have to make a certain amount of money to get a woman who's like playing the housewife role to any capacity. And I don't like that whole frame. And I think the reason why it kind of defaults to that is because a lot of young girls, they come into the whole dating dynamic with this 50-50 idea. And what that does is instead of a woman setting her sights on, I need to date a guy who can provide certain things, and then she fits into that role, she's essentially dating for power instead of dating to be, provided for over the long haul.
I
And
don't think it's that.
ultimately,
I think they go
the
into it to
child.
build. I'm sorry,
We,
Fiza.
we no, I was gonna say ultimately the child is the casualty in that situation. Go ahead, creative.
Oh, I was saying that whole 50-50 dynamic, that's only beneficial if you're married and you're trying to build together because, those are both of you guys as kids, both of you guys as legacy. But to do that as boyfriend and girlfriend, no.
But it's actually not her legacy; it's his.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
just facts too.
Women don't really leave legacy in that same way. Like I'm looking over the landscape
What
here.
do you mean
It's been
women
like
don't
what,
believe in
60
legacy?
years of
Like, what are you
feminism.
saying? Women do
They
believe in
don't.
legacy.
Women don't. Most women don't. What's legacy for a woman then?
You
Explain this
pass
process
on
to
your
me, please.
generational wealth, your teachings to your children, and they carry
These
that
broke
on.
bitches is
Bro,
dumb. What they gonna pass on?
no.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Let me put you on game, creative. Men don't pass on creative solutions. We pass on how to build. Excuse me. We pass on how to build generational wealth. Like, look, between probate court and all these other things, yeah, you know what? The gov's gonna suck that money up. So you pass on enough for that son to go out there and do the same thing you did. Because if you pass him a whole lot of money, generational wealth, yeah, he gonna drop. He gonna fumble that bag.
You guys think so?
Well,
I'm already in the
that is
works of
literally
passing
what
that
my
on to my son. I already got things in the works.
no.
It's not.
What wisdom do you pass on to your son? Because it's not just the money that like is a part of the whole deal. It's a legacy of work, a legacy of achievement, of sacrifice, of duty
Yeah,
and
I
honor.
agree with you.
Like
Yes, yes,
I
100%. You pass all
and
that
listen,
all down. The
I
teaching.
think
to take
women can
you
do that too,
personally
though.
out of it.
No, I think
They
I
women
don't
can
think
do.
women I
Women can
don't think
do.
women do
Women.
that.
Women
I
do
am.
most of it. What do you
I
mean?
am.
Women raise the kids. Women teach them. Women
but
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 look
share
at the kids
their home
now.
cooking.
But
The
look at the
whole
kids now and tell
foundation
me.
in the atmosphere is
But
from
look,
the woman creates it. Like, what are you saying? You
you
guys
can't
always
tell me that
remember
after.
when you were younger how you used to eat at your mother's table, where you used to go. Your mother did all of that, so you should thank your mother. You got your
but
mother's
that's
teachings.
but when we're talking
My mom was on
generational wealth,
welfare.
when we're talking generational wealth, the reason why it can't be the women is because I'll give you a prime example. Most women don't know how to play chess.
Why
And
it
that
can't be
is
the woman? It's information online all over. Like, what are you
it's not
saying?
about it's not about information. There's a
So
difference
go
between
ahead, break it
wisdom and
down to me if he's
there,
on
there
that. Go ahead. I'm
well, because
listening.
there's a difference between wisdom and information. When you're in a
Uh-huh.
business setting, you can only have so much information. And that's where the whole like 48 laws of power, all that goofy stuff comes in, where you have
So
to
the
do
woman,
certain
so you're trying to say a woman in today's world, she cannot own a business. She cannot run something. Is that what you're saying?
no. What I'm saying is a woman is less likely to pass down the inner wisdom, the inner tactics of how to Like you can teach your son how to do something that's contributing to the business and allows to hand the baton. But when it
What
comes
about
to
your daughter?
competition, when it comes to, okay, your daughter as well, but when it comes to competition, so my company versus this person's company, there are certain things that women can't teach their kids how to do in that
Why she
regard.
can't teach their kids if she's running a successful business and she's challenging other businesses? Why she can't do that?
I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna
Anybody
explain
can do
why.
that.
Because
Like
if
I
you're
call bullshit, but
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no,
Anybody
no, no,
can't
no,
do
no.
that.
Hold on.
Yes, they can.
If
What do
you're a
you
good
mean?
mom, creative. If you're a good mom and you actually raise your children with love and nurturing, you can't teach them ruthless calculation.
I listen.
Exactly.
I like disagree because if your kids are gonna learn from your drive and what you do
And then
and
look,
how
and
you
then
teach
look,
them,
look, look,
they
look,
could
and
come
then
to
look.
your
Here's
meetings
the
and
other
they could
side.
view and
Here,
they could watch you.
here's the other
I
side of
think that
that. If you're a
I think what
ruthless calculating woman, you're probably a shitty mom as well.
Oh my God. So you can't be both. Look, you're demonized. You're demonized if you run a business, and
No,
then
no.
if you're a
Listen, men
mother,
have roles
you're
too, sweetie.
you
Men have
can't do
roles too.
this.
You don't
Like
hear us
you can't win
crying.
in this world. You just can't win.
You no, no, no.
I don't
Men
think
have
I
a job. We
demonized
have
the.
roles.
Yeah, and I didn't demonize a woman for owning a business. What I'm saying is when it comes to the actual generational wealth, you said, well, why can't women pass generational wealth and teach all of those things? It's because it's a different wiring that you have, especially if you're a good mom. Because when it's time for hostile takeover, good moms don't do hostile takeovers.
a
And
good
sometimes you
mother,
might have to hostily take
excuse
over some shit.
What's a hostile
excuse me, as a good
takeover?
mother
Nobody's
speaking
gonna
here.
go kill somebody. Who
No,
teaching their kids to go
oh
kill?
God. See, you see what I'm
Oh
saying?
goodness.
16 years old.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
You just said
no, no, no.
hostile takeovers, so
And
explain
then
to me.
now we're back to a different male role about who has to get up in the middle of the night in case you do have to go kill something.
The fuck you
Again,
have security systems if you have something
your
like that in
mom should
place.
not be the one teaching you this. It's not going to come off the same if your mom is teaching you this. It's
Well,
a whole
listen,
different
we
It
world.
believe in
does. No, 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 no,
and
no, no, no,
women
no,
have
no, 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 no.
Hey,
If
let the
you
show
are
go,
a mother, if you are a mother, and it's, I mean, it's, I'm just going to go back to ancient times. That at the end of the day, a mom, think about ancient Greece. Moms had husbands that were away at battle for years. They raised the sons to be warriors as well. It is not that women can't do it. In our society today, the idea of killing someone in order to protect your property, we don't have to do on a daily. But back in the day, that's why I said mama bear. A mama bear
Michelle,
will kill
you're
for her child.
incorrect. You're incorrect even in that retelling of history. It is not that there were legions of female teachers training the young boys to be warriors. Older men who were no longer good for battle were home training the young boys for warriors. Younger men who didn't get the call yet were still home training their younger brothers and siblings. So it's not that women just suddenly became men because the men went off to war. Women left, they had to run things, but this whole thing of being a man was never
exactly.
under women's but the whole thing of
Hood
like men
conservative, you
becoming
just said it.
manhood was never under women's control. That was always
Hood
a male
conservative,
realm.
you just said it. You just said it. Don't you think
So
women have
so
to do it in today's with this like
in
you guys
no,
like
today's
to
world they
create
are
this
failing. In
No.
today's world
no.
they are failing.
They are choosing to do things
these
backwards.
single mothers? Who do you
But
think is doing it?
You
Who
choose
but
do
to be
you
a
think
single
is
mother,
doing it?
creative.
look
Being a
what I'm
single mom is
saying.
a
Look what
choice.
I'm saying. I'm the one that sit up there saying, young girls, don't date a man that does not want to marry you. You guys are sitting up there going, well, at 16 it's legal. No, when you give young girls and young boys the idea that, okay, you can now fuck. You're in high school, you're expected to fuck. You're in college, you're expected to drink and do debauchery. That's the wrong message that we're sending these young kids.
Well, here's the thing.
Guys
Who's
are like
sending that?
Now, hold
the
up real quick.
media.
Well,
The
Okay,
well,
go
media.
ahead.
let's make America great again. In the older days, yes, of course, guys were taught to pursue. First date, you try. Second date, you try. Third date, you try. If she doesn't give it up, she's a good woman. Men are going to try. It's the woman's job to say no. You must wait. Now, if she does give it up, man, okay, cool. Next.
Okay,
it's the
tell the
game that's
truth.
been played.
That's what I'm saying. Young girls need to be taught that early on, that, these are the rules. They're going to try, and you have to say no. There's
But
like a script book.
yeah, but
It's
Nichelle, the problem is roles are being reversed in today's society where girls are being taught body positivity, live your life, do you girl, ride the carousel, and oh yeah, and then 28, 29 try to settle down.
Hey,
That's not
Trey,
the
look,
answer.
look. Trey,
I always tell,
if women can't raise their daughters to close their legs, how are you going to pass on any legacy?
exactly. And like I said, I am a very, I taught my daughters how to be very social, how to work a crowd, because that's what you do in social settings. You work the crowd. He's on that side working, you're on that side working, then you come together. It's about teamwork. You network, you find out who's who, you talk to them one-on-one, then you bring your other half around. They see me doing that. I'm very much into the role of what is a woman's legacy. The woman creates the society that the children are exposed to. So a lot of times when you have single mothers, they don't have time to socialize. They don't have time to network. They just got to go to work, take care of the kids, and maybe along the way, when they go out socializing, it's to find a man, and they wind up so tired they just let the dick fall in their pussy.
You know what you just said without saying it, Nichelle? In that first half, her legacy is intertwined with his. You literally
Yes,
described teamwork and working together. And this, again, the single women leaving legacy, that's, good luck to you. I'm not seeing it happening.
that's what I'm saying. They just don't have
Why
a
why
woman's
wouldn't it
role.
happen?
A woman's role is to create society. I'm just putting it in terms that maybe everyone can understand. Your job, you create the parties at your house, the dinners, the guest list. You create that. You're the one that exposes your children to their network that will either help them later on in life or just be there.
I
You know,
agree with that. Yes, you introduce your kids to the network. Yes, that's a good point. But to me, I feel like this is the information. We are in the age of information, right? If you want to figure things out, you can find it on the internet. You can find it by networking. You can ask other people, and those answers will be revealed. And that's what I truly believe. I never come from a victim state or a victim point of view, and I never ever in life want to think that way. So that's just me, and that's just my stance. So
Creative.
I do
Let
think,
me ask you
if you're a
something.
single mom or whether you're married, you can leave a legacy to your children.
Do you believe in this concept of a woman can have it all, creative?
hell no. That was an Angelique commercial that I literally.
Thank you, Nichelle. Thank you, Nichelle. But
Why
I
not?
want to get the young lady. Thank you. Okay, so explain to me why you
Okay,
think a woman could have it all.
there's a writer. There's a writer that went to alumni group. I went to Duke University. So went to one of their women's luncheons, and this woman is talking, and she says, we were lied to. Women cannot have it all. You cannot be the one that, I can bring home the bacon, stir it up in the pan, and never let you forget you're a man. You can't do it all. She was highly successful. She was a vice president at Apple. She actually introduced Melody Gates to Bill Gates while she was working at Microsoft. And she wound up finding herself at 49 years old, unmarried. And Melinda Gates gave her a makeover. And when she went out on her date, the guy asked her, what did she do for a living? She said, oh, I just write for a magazine, Time magazine, by the way. He's like, oh, he assumed it was a female magazine, like whatever, Mademoiselle or something like that. They wound up dating. They got married. And she said, unfortunately, she had waited too late to have, to get married, to have kids. But he had a young daughter. She was a good stepmother. She said, but I had to learn to not brag about my position in order to marry an earl. He's an earl. The man
What's
is
an
loaded,
earl?
like in
It's like
England.
like
England.
a member
Oh,
of the
okay.
court, a part of the royal
Gotcha,
Yeah.
court.
gotcha.
He has
I
ancient
don't.
Gotcha.
money.
I thought it
And
Well,
was
I
so,
like a
don't.
Henry or some shit like that. I thought it was some new acronym I didn't know. All right,
oh
yeah, I
no,
got
no.
you.
I don't
She
understand when
says,
people say
but
you can't do.
her advice was, she said, at 5 o'clock on Friday until 8 o'clock on Monday, that is her husband's time. She does not take any work calls. Girlfriends, if you want to hang out with me, that's Monday through Thursday. I can have lunch with you and go out with the girls, but my husband, it comes first, Friday through until 8 o'clock on Monday.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. I don't see anything
There
wrong
you
with
go.
that.
You know what that reminds me of? A Hood. It reminds me of Patrice when he was talking about a while ago. It's a good analogy. Like when you first get into the game, you're LeBron James, you're a phenom. You can pass anything, you can dunk, you can do it all. But as you get older, that knee starts to hurt a little bit, that back starts to get a little weak.
Gotta learn to fade away.
You got to learn to fade away. You got to start learning these extra skills, these other skills that allow you to stay in the game longer. And that's what she did. Kudos to her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
And
That
right
was good. I don't see anything wrong with
and
that. That's what's
creative,
up.
yeah. But just to point this out, even in that happy ending, she did not have it all. She missed the opportunity to have her own children in the marriage. So again, there will be sacrifice. There will be loss.
Yeah, and you just have to. I
Yeah.
think that one of the things that the biggest lies that they tell women is like, you are equal to men. Okay, in the workforce. That's in the workforce, just in the workforce. When you come home, I don't want to be equal with my man. There are things that I
Facts.
want him to do. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sorry. It's just I'm not going to submit to every man. The man that I'm with, I submit to. I get on his damn nerves about a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, he's going to get his way. But I think that we don't.
Salute.
yeah, that's what's up.
I
Yeah,
said
that's what's
salute.
up.
Salute to you for that. Yeah, salute.
Yeah, cause
I
you.
found out he didn't like cheese. That he was just tolerating cheese. I'm like making macaroni and cheese, pizza.
I'm
He
sorry, did
likes
you say cheese?
cheese. He does not like cheese.
Cheese.
Mm.
Jesus.
I had
All
to go.
right.
I had to go through my recipe book. Like, okay, we can't have nachos. We can't. Oh, damn, nigga don't like cheese. Learn how to make omelets. Okay, your omelet doesn't have cheese. Mine does. Okay, we had to make adjustments.
That's good.
It's little things that.
Yeah.
It's the
And
little things that count.
It really
and I
is, though.
think
That's the kind of stuff that endears you to one person to another.
and
That's
that's why
true.
I dated. That's why I dated such an older man, because I know what stage of life I'm in, and I know what stage of life he is in. He is still, very active. He's a musician. He's at rehearsal now. So you have to find the one. And in order to find the one, sometimes it is that age difference really and truly matters. Because if you're with someone that's close to your age, say like in his 30s, his focus is still on building his family while building his career. So if you're not ready to take on some extra responsibilities so that he can build his career. And I'm going to say it like this. Creative, I don't mean to be rude. You're a single mother. We don't tell young girls that men don't really want to raise another man's kid. Guys, am I right?
No, you're absolutely right. That shit
Yeah, you're
irks
right.
the hell out of me. Like I could tell you stories, but I just won't.
I didn't want to be a stepmother. My husband lied to me and told me the night after our honeymoon, oh yeah, I already got 2 girls. Huh? What? Where did, look, I didn't check the proper, I didn't check
was
all the
wild.
records.
That was a little wild.
I'm not mad.
I'll be real,
It's not
and
a
I'll keep
problem
it,
for me. Me having my
and
son is not a problem. So
and I'll even keep it. I'll take it up another notch. Like I was raised by a stepdad. I didn't find that out till I was 16. He came in the picture when I was 3. So for my whole life, I thought he was my actual dad. But I wouldn't want to make my, and I turned out very well. But I wouldn't want to make the way I was raised like the rule for everybody else. Because for every success story like me, I can think of like 10 to 15 stories where that turns out horribly
Right.
wrong.
I had a
Right.
okay,
stepdad and it was
but you had a
horrible. It
success,
was
so it
not
is
nice. It was not. It
possible.
was
So
unfun.
No,
don't
but
come over
that's what I'm
here and
saying. Like
shoot it down.
I'm not shooting it down. I'm saying that even now, my dad fought through a lot of odds to make that happen, and not every man can actually do that. So that's why making exceptions rules is highly damaging, because number one, you're fighting against more odds than you intend on to make something like that happen. Number
And
two, you're
during your
number
most
two,
formative years, he was your only father.
yeah,
You didn't have.
exactly. Exactly. And even more, number two, it emboldens women to continue being dysfunctional, hoping that their exception will become the
How
rule.
is that
And that's just not cool.
dysfunctional? I am not dysfunctional, but okay.
No, I'm not
No, no,
saying
it's
you're
not. I'm not
dysfunctional.
trying to
I
call
don't
you
know you.
dysfunctional.
I I'm saying that one success story doesn't necessarily equate to a single mom could take my success story and feel that she's going to be all right, even though realistically her situation could be different and she should be making an entirely different decision. I don't know your personal situation, so this isn't necessarily a
No,
shot
no,
towards
creative,
you.
creative. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck, right? You and your son's father are not together, right? So now let's fast forward, 20 years, 10 years, however your son old. I don't know how old he is, but whatever. Let's fast forward to a time where he's having a family or he wants to have a family. Do you want him to live the same life that his father is living, in that sense of like not being together with the mother of his children? Would you rather for him to be
No.
in a
Well,
normal family,
well,
like, right?
no.
So
No, I want him to be a good example and take care of his kids, and I'm pretty sure that he would do that. I have, I teach my son. I tell him, how to care for others, how to do things. He sees things also, so I don't worry about stuff like that.
And
well, no,
if
it wasn't to pick on it in that sense. One second, it wasn't to pick on it in that sense. It was just to highlight that without trying to make any woman the bad guy here, there is a contrast between the two scenarios. And if you really have to put your heart on the line, when you put your own flesh and blood in the game, what would you want for your own flesh and blood? And this
I
is why I
want the
had to lay it
best for
out for
him.
you
I
like
want him
that.
to be with
Right.
his wife,
And
and
mhm.
the best is not single parenthood, fathers or
yeah.
mothers. The best is just not that.
You know what? I would have to say to that is what I could do is I could grow up my son and make sure his environment is nurturing and make sure he has the tools necessary to go out in the world and make sure he doesn't have any trauma. And
Yeah.
he has a high self-esteem and he knows that he can go after what he wants. And if he could do that, he could take care of himself. I feel like I was successful
I
in
think
what
that's one
I
of the biggest
did.
mistakes mothers can
You
make.
know, hold on.
One of the biggest
Can I get real
mistakes.
personal? Let me say something personal because I'm having an emotional moment. I'm like sitting in the backyard watching a rabbit eat some grass, and I'm jealous. I can't raise my son like this. Like, fuck, god damn it! I
Conservative,
want
go
my
ahead.
sons to see this. There's a rabbit eating the backyard, nigga.
Yeah, yeah. And then here's another example. So my stepdad came into the situation when I was 3. Like a single mom whose son is like, let's say her son is like 8 or 10. That's dramatically different. So and if she takes my success story and says, "Oh, okay, well it worked out for him, why wouldn't it should work out for me?" It's like, no, your son is 10. There's a difference between being on the earth for 10 years.
Yeah,
Under
I would agree
I
with
think
that.
you
your
see what I'm
mom,
saying?
yeah, I
But
think
as
your
long
mom
as
was
you're
looking for
mature about
a
the
father.
situation, I'm not just gonna go throw it into the heat and just
No, I think there's a
no, it takes
difference.
time.
I think there's a difference between being a single mother who's dating or versus being a single mother who's looking for a father for her child.
Yeah.
I mean, his mom obviously approached the situation like you're going to be his father. You know, He grew up calling the man his father. That's what she was looking for. Women have to learn to date with a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
because men know. You have heard the men say, hey, 3 dates, I'm trying to get, hey, if you give it up within the first 3 dates, I'm moving on to the next one.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the way young boys get caught up is there are, I hate to say it like this, some of these girls just don't have any home training. They've given up the booty left and right. They have daddy issues, and I had to get my child into counseling. She had daddy issues.
Right.
And I don't play. I really do not play. Y'all have to understand. Y'all can look me up. I have a case before the Texas Supreme Court. So if I am willing to fight for years for what's right, I'll fight my kids to make them right. And I think a lot of parents are afraid to do that.
Here's another thing parents aren't.
do that.
Here's another thing parents are afraid to do. They're afraid to deprive their kid of media. I find that funny that we can all sit here and agree that media is the issue, but when you go out there and you look, because working in the medical field, I treat kids in pediatrics and stuff like that. All the kids got cell phones. They all got tablets. The parents will swear that they got ADHD, but they focused as hell on that goddamn tablet.
Mm-hmm.
So and so, I was talking to my wife about this the other day. Like, I want to raise my daughter damn near Amish until she's like 15, 16. Like,
Bro,
she
you
don't
read my
need no cell
mind.
phone. She don't need none of this goofy stuff, because these are the people who are teaching her this stuff.
Right.
Well, I think there's good media out there too. It's not all of it is really bad, You have to acknowledge that there are some good stuff. You just gotta monitor what your kids are watching and what they're taking in, and who they're around, also who they're playing with.
Well, that's where misogyny comes in, and we step in and say no. I'm with Free Zone. I want my daggone grandson raised damn near like the Taliban. After what I've gone through with my kids, just by choosing like garbage women, no, I want my grandson raised straight Taliban.
That shit
And
hit
I'm not
different though.
married
I
to
ain't gonna lie. I say Amish, you say Taliban. I'm like, God damn.
Nah, I feel like
Yeah,
maybe
Yeah,
you
I
no,
should
like
I'm with
that.
Trey
monitor what
on
I
they're
like
this.
it.
watching.
I like it.
now my rebellious look. I'm with y'all. I put my daughter in a school where it was against the rules for the girls to even show their ankles. Yes, there is a school in Texas like that where the girls had to wear knee socks. You had to wear the knee socks. And it was hard to find them, but they wanted to teach the girls modesty, and they taught them Mandarin. As scary as it
Nah,
may
you know
sound.
what? Real talk. I don't know that boys and girls should be educated in the same place at the
Thank you.
same time. It should
Thank
not
you.
be
They
co-ed.
shouldn't.
Like, you shouldn't be co-ed to like college or something like that.
No, why?
Well,
Because little
because
boys
young,
have sex on their minds. Let's just be honest.
right.
Little boys have
Young
sex
girls
on
do
their minds.
too. Young boys and young
Yeah.
girls are like
Yeah.
fucking magnets. You can't really just ignore that. I'm not even trying to put one on either side. You are what you
But
are.
if
We
they're
are
gonna
what
do
we
something,
are.
they're gonna do it. If you deprive them, it's just
No,
make them
no, no,
go
no, no,
feel
no,
go
no.
do
No,
it.
that's not true.
No,
That's
no.
not
That's
true.
not
No.
true.
See,
If
That
you make
I
it
is
am
harder,
true.
crazy.
if you make it difficult and then you shame them for doing it, they'll do it way less. Right now, nobody's ashamed
No,
and it's easy as
No,
ever.
no.
I,
I
I
took
don't
the
think
door.
that
If you don't,
I
shaming
okay,
is
took.
creative.
proper,
If
and
if
I
you
don't
don't
Wait a
think
minute.
believe me, here's the question. Trey mentioned the Taliban. What percentage of girls from the Taliban are really going up to their daughters, their dads at 15, 16, like, hey, this is my boyfriend, such and such?
nah. I think you
Tell
just
them to
gotta
get the
raise
shit
your
beat
kids
out of
right.
them.
I
No,
disagree.
that's beyond
But you,
conservatism.
but you don't have a reason for why you disagree, though. You just like, nah, I
No,
disagree.
I
Like, the
mean,
feeling is there,
if you
but
guys want to do that Taliban thing and separate, yeah, I'm not with that, but more
No,
power to you.
but my point is that my point is that you don't have an actual concrete reason why you disagree.
I feel like, having him go to school with both
Stop
sexes is
thinking with your
good.
pussy, girl.
I'm
Stop
I'm
thinking
not
with your pussy.
against
That's
it.
the
So
only
that's
thing
just
you're
me.
doing right now. You're just thinking with your pussy. That's all it is. That's the only thing at play here.
I
Yay.
I have nothing against that. Like, that's, you guys could do that, but I'm okay with the traditional system and them learning and understanding. I mean, if you could teach them, and before they know, they will make better choices. That's what y'all was saying earlier. I'm
You
not
know,
with
the experiment
segregating
of
them.
this experiment of having, teenage boys and teenage girls going to school with each other, it's not my idea of, what life should be, because the idea was that if boys and girls were in the classroom together learning, boys would accept that girls are just as smart as they are. That
Mm-hmm.
was the experiment. But what you have found out since then is our generation is less likely to get married and have kids. And now they're sitting up there going, oh my God, the birth rate is not 2.3. We have to allow some of these immigrants to come in because we need a workforce. We don't have a workforce because women are having sex for fun now. With the
Damn, this
pill.
lady gets it.
That's not. I would say
Damn,
men
that
have
was
to
it.
want the relationship.
Yeah, I
Also,
mean,
you gonna put it all on women? I no.
no, but
It's
the
No, I
not
mean,
studies are
about.
the studies are out there that if you look at all girls schools, all boys schools compared to traditional schools, their kids turn out better.
Okay.
And then creative.
Okay.
It's not about blaming women, but we cannot ignore the basic realities of human nature and expect people to prosper under those conditions. It's just not
This
going to
is just
happen.
me. I don't want to put all the morality on top of women. Like,
We're
men
not
have their
putting
own
or
we're not
mind.
putting
They
women
they
we're
could
not
go to
putting women
church.
in a
They
box.
could understand right
Hold on,
from
hold on, hold on,
wrong,
hold on,
and
hold
they
on.
could
We're
want
not
different things
saying
that they want in their
we're not
lives, and
saying
put
girls
it
don't
in
go to
effect.
school. We're not saying girls don't get educated. We're not saying women can't have jobs. We're not saying women can't have careers. We're
I never
saying
said that. I
they
said
should be
morality.
educated
I don't
separately.
want you
This
guys
isn't
put all
even
the
about
morality on women.
morality. You're not even brick, but that's the point. It's not about morality. This is not about boys are bad and girls are bad. It's not that. Human nature is what it is. And so if you want to raise better men and women, they should be a little bit separated when they're at that stage of development. Like they will always have little chances to interact out in society at large,
So
but
yeah, so
in the
I just
school
said
setting,
I
8 hours a
disagree.
day under the same building, it's probably a bad idea. And
But
that's the whole
conservative, you have to
separation
agree
line.
with that. I just respectfully disagree, and I'm okay with kids being in co-ed and going to school. That's just me.
And
you
there
know, the
lies
whole
the problem
idea
of the
of,
And there it
community.
is.
And you're right,
yeah,
this is where misogyny comes in. This is why misogyny is the last line of defense.
Because I
This is
don't
all we
agree with
need.
you. This
Right.
is you
So no,
guys say
imagine,
that. I
no,
don't.
no, creative. No, imagine this in a relationship context, right? I have there's a problem in front of us, and
Hmm.
the solution is it takes a little bit of time to get to it, but I come to a solution. If we do this, it will solve the problem. We will get through this in one piece, right? Now, you as the woman, you don't like what the solution means because it means we have to sacrifice, lose things. We have to put ourselves in a position that makes us, emotionally uncomfortable, maybe. And you're going to fight me on that as the co-head, right? As the you have 50-50 power in this thing. So if you say no, nothing happens. So you're going to fight me on what is actually rational logic to solve a problem because it makes you feel bad. And this is why relationships break down.
No, we're not in a relationship, first of all, and
That was
second of
Please
all,
rather
I
don't
feel
play
like
me.
weird.
Don't play me. Don't play
you
me.
could
No,
put
no,
your
no.
kids in
Address
good
the issue.
schools, pay money
Address
and
the
put your kids
issue.
in good schools. There we
We're
go.
not talking about money.
Look,
Who said schools? Who said schools and money? No, 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 no. See, you're doing stuff. You're doing stuff. Stop doing
I
stuff. You're
just
doing too
said
much.
there's different things, there's different ways of going about a solution. If you don't want your kids to go to.
No, sometimes there is only one solution, and if the woman doesn't like that, she has to either you have to either put a check on her wild emotions. That means you get the last word, or she has to go because
yeah,
she's not willing to do what it takes to win.
because the problem is a lot of these modern independent women
Hmm.
creative, they have issues with men having veto powers. I know David said, this 50-50 relationship. Yeah, the woman is complementary. Women's for the nurturing, the man's for the, the hard stuff. But at the end of the day, the man has to have veto powers in a relationship, regardless of how you feel, how much this is gonna suck, how much your mama gonna be all up in your ear. No, this is how it goes. And if that don't work, that doesn't work for these modern and independent women.
Yeah, okay,
and that's why,
okay.
getting back to my point again, why so many men want young girls because they have not had the opportunity to be independent. They've gone from their father and mother's house straight to, they were under rules. They had to obey their mom and dad. And now these men are looking at these girls saying, yes, she is at that age where she's not independent. She's at that age where she can be molded to be the wife that I want. That is just the way it's been for eons. And the modern woman, it is different. It is different that when you have a boss, if you have, I fired women. I've literally fired women that could not put work first. I mean, my husband wants me, I need to go home. My husband wants me to have his dinner ready. No, I need you here. Well, my husband has to come first. Okay, bye. Your husband's
Right.
now
Let me
first.
ask you something. What is that like as a woman? Do you feel that conflict? Is there that womanly thing, or is it just like cold business?
I think it was cold business before I had my own kids. And I had a judge tell me that I asked for a continuance because I need to go pick up my kids. And he said, you should have thought of that before. Don't you have a husband? Can't he go pick up the kids?
Damn.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Damn.
damn.
That's true. It should be. You guys should work together.
Cold blooded.
Nah.
No, my
Nah,
husband
that's
was
why
not.
I don't know about this whole marriage thing. It'd be women who
My
be
husband was
married,
not
be
happy.
single mothers in marriages also.
No. In my profession and a lot of other professions, it is very difficult dealing with a male boss and a husband because there could often be conflict. I've seen a partner at my firm break down and cry because, again, same scenario. We had to work late and she wanted to make arrangements for her kids and she got cussed out for doing that.
Yeah, I
It's like
mean,
your husband should. It was like your husband should figure out, if you're not there, then, your husband should figure it out. The school will figure it out. They'll call him so he can come pick them up. We need you here.
Right.
That's the problem. That nobody want
And
to hear
that's
that shit.
right. And that's
Yeah.
why ideally, like the optimal situation, the woman's the only boss a woman should have is her husband, because the husband is going to make decisions that are best for the family. And the boss at work don't care. He cares about productivity at his job. That just is what it is. That's why a lot of the successful relationships are where like the husband and wife have a business together and the wife works for the husband.
That's some shit. I mean, I don't want to work for anybody. That's what's up. Whew.
Nah, this is
You,
what I meant earlier when I was saying like nobody is really giving young women the reality. And I'm not even meaning like nightmare scenarios. I don't even think these are nightmare scenarios. These are just things that happen from time to time in the workforce.
I don't think you can do that nowadays. People are, owning their own businesses and doing their own stuff. So, like, you trying to
girl,
fear monger
I
people?
mean, I'll be honest.
It's
I
fear
mean, why?
mongering.
It's not fear mongering. I talked to one of the associates at American Airlines. That's a big ass company. She was brought in to deal with their implementation of the Pregnancy Leave Act. Probably saying it wrong, but Pregnancy Protection Act. And she designed a program so that all the women at the company, they had some flexibility when they had kids. Well, she fucks up and has a kid herself. And she decides, hey, I know the law. I know the program. So I'm going to elect to work from home some days. I'm only coming into the office like 3 days. She got to the office. She's like, where's my office? What happened to my office? They said, since you're only here 3 days, you can sit with the paralegals. I mean, these are the
They put
realities.
her at the kiddie
Yep.
table.
I mean,
Yep.
that's only right.
They put her at the
Yeah.
kiddie table.
You got to take it for what it is. I would have believed that.
Nah, but this is what I'm trying to say.
I
Like
hear her.
women. No, go ahead, Michelle.
No, I mean, I thought like the legal profession, is like, hey, I'm a lawyer, but men don't like women in the legal profession. It's kind of like they want to be the NBA. The NBA, if you got women want to play basketball, you need to form your own league. And so they plot. They in court, it's like, okay, try to distract them. Look at her boobs. Make her mad. Make her emotions come out so the jury can see that she's kind of flaky. So we have to learn to carry ourselves a different way.
Yeah, I call bullshit. I call bullshit because women have that same
That's true. We
leverage.
are elevated.
Women play those games. Women have those same maneuvers. It is what it is, and it's just dudes. If you learn how to fight back, fine.
Yeah, but there are things that women don't learn from other women or men. The honesty is, if a father's in the house, when that guy comes to take out his daughter, I don't care if he's 17, I don't care if he's 20. That father is looking at that young man as, okay, you trying to get a pussy. You're trying to get a pussy. And if you do not send out the right signals, then he gonna get that pussy. And I don't think men like the idea of just being brutally honest and saying that if my 16-year-old goes out on a date, I'd much prefer her to go out with someone who was going to marry her than someone that was just going to try to fuck her.
No, Nichelle, I don't know why we're back on this. Stop sending your 16-year-old out there to get fucked.
I'm not on board with that.
Yeah.
No one's on board with it, but at the same time, I'm listening to every man. I'm listening to every man say, well, cars were invented for fucking. And it's like, and I'm saying that if you allow your 16-year-old daughter to date, chances are
she needs to go somewhere in the car. I have a car. I can drive her anywhere she needs to go. This is my daughter, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean? This whole thing about cars is irrelevant. You keep trying to make it like a reality. No, let's not live in that reality, Nichelle. We cannot live in that in the reality. That's the whole, it's like a mental thing, I guess. But that whole framework is false from jump.
Can I say something right quick?
Yeah.
What up, bro?
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
What's good? Yeah, we Gucci, man.
But I thought,
yeah, whatever.
I heard there was another panel yesterday. They were saying that if fathers was acting like that, making sure that who the daughters should date, they would call that abusive. They would call that oppressive. So if men were trying to do that now, how would the women take that?
That's a good point, because I think that y'all didn't catch what I said, that my two of my daughters, they follow the rules. Every date was chaperoned. They had a chaperone. You want to go skating? You got a chaperone. You want to go to the movies? You got a chaperone. It took time out of my schedule and the schedule of the other parents, but that was the rule. That was the rule. If you want to, I need to meet the boy's family. I need to know who he is. You have to play an active role in the life of your 16, 17, 18-year-old and teach them that this is the way you date. Otherwise, you're going to let your daughter and your sons go out into a world where sex is just thrust at them so much that eventually they're going to take a bite of the apple.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But there's some women who would think that's oppressive. How do you try to tell me who I should date, who I should deal with? That's what I heard on that panel yesterday. That we don't want that. We don't want.
If you are a mother and your child's father takes the time to chaperone the dates, why would you as a mother be upset that you and your husband are trying to protect the pussy?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you should meet the parents. I think the dad should be active, involved.
Yeah, because you're adding chaperone.
I understand meeting the parents.
To the equation.
That's a different thing. But I'm talking about, like, even just, I was hearing like where one guy was saying, well, why don't the men follow the women around? So whenever the women go somewhere, the men be with them so they could be protected. The women were saying that was oppressive. So if you're talking about something like that, where the father or the mother around deciding who they date, who they were, there were women that was deciding that was oppressive and that was abusive.
Those women are
So
just
how do you
Those
so how do you uh kind of, if you have women, some men too, would think that's oppressive, how do you rectify that if that's what you want to do as the man or as the woman? How do you how you rectify that? How you even, or do you just, those people you just don't deal with?
I wouldn't deal with them.
exactly,
Honestly, I wouldn't deal with them.
exactly.
I mean, my daughters got invited to a slumber party, and I didn't know the mother that well. I'd heard rumors, and I told them, I said, okay, they can come, but I'm coming too. And she said, oh no, we don't have room for all the mothers to come. My kids didn't go. It
Right.
depends on how you raised your children. Yes, they can rebel. They can rebel, and you have to push back. And I think that if women were honest, times may have changed, but men have not changed. Men, when they are looking, they're either looking to get married or looking to fuck. They are not looking for someone to spend money on. They're not looking for someone to go watch the game with, not from a woman. They are looking to either marry you, take care of you, provide for you. They want, in exchange for that, they want submission. The level of submission depends on your relationship. If you teach your daughters you're equal, that's like sitting up there saying, you know, when you get in the car, both of you can drive. There's only one driver. You are the navigator. Let him drive the damn car, and you can navigate. You can see where you guys are. Okay, here, the turn is coming up. You work together like that. Women are not being taught to do that.
Yeah.
And I got that analogy
Yeah.
from an African wedding. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest. He told him at the wedding, he said, someone is going to have to drive this car. And the other person is going to have to navigate. You cannot have two drivers in a marriage.
Here's another analogy too, just to kind of, you were talking on cars, and I thought this is a great analogy. Imagine your child is a brand new top of the line Lamborghini, hypothetically speaking. You're not gonna want to park your Lamborghini just because it has nice locks and it's locked, it's let's say it's bulletproof, all that stuff, indestructible, whatever. That doesn't mean that you want to park it right in the middle of a crime-ridden ghetto where somebody could just run in and try to take it and mess with it and all that stuff. No, you want it in that nice 3-car garage, sheltered under your watch from the rest of the world so that they don't get to it. And this is I still believe, like, train up a child in the way that he or she should go, so that when they're old they won't depart from it. The problem is that parents aren't really raising their kids. The world is, society is, media is. And when you have it set up like that, where your kids are only with you like at night, and for 8 hours they're in the world doing God knows what with God knows who, getting information from God knows where, you don't have any control of that flow of information that reaches your child. Of course, your child is going to hit you at 15 like, Dad, this is my boyfriend, Gervais. Like, that's going to happen because you don't have all hands on deck in raising your child. And yeah, you can go to the school and get a nice little interview. Oh, the teachers seem nice. Oh, these little kids seem nice and all that stuff. But that's hours growing up. Sorry about that. Somebody called me. That's still 8 hours unaccounted for of miscellaneous people having influence on your child. And you can
And you do
say that
have,
you can say that oh shit.
No, I get what he's saying. That when you have, I was lucky. I did charter schools, so I had a little bit more choice than other people did. I was willing to put in the time to drive my kids to school every morning and pick them up every evening. But that's one of the things that you find your kids are being influenced by other children who may have different values than you do. So you have to be very active. You have to talk to your kids early on about, where you want them to go in life. A lot of parents are
Yeah.
so busy pushing their kids to be independent that the children are not marriage minded. They become sex minded because, it's like, well, if you're too strict on your kids, they're going to get out there and be really rebellious. Where did that wisdom come from? The Bible says, teach a kid the way they should, and then they'll never depart from it. The prodigal son, they may go away for a little bit, but eventually they'll come back to the training that you gave them, the nurturing. They'll understand why you said the things that you said. So that's what I think. A lot of parents have been told things like, you can't spank your kids. I said, that's like telling me I can't speak. If there is a speed limit of 55 miles an hour and I got to get to my job on time, I'm going to speed. So I looked at raising my kids like, nobody can tell me how to raise my kids. If my kid is disobedient, there are consequences. There were consequences. And there were age appropriate consequences for my kids. So yes, when they went out into the dating world, one was rebellious and she had to learn. She had to learn that, she came to me last night, Mom, I understand a lot of the stuff you're saying now, but, shit happens.
It's too late, right?
I mean, she's 21. She's about to complete her real estate license. And it's like, she's like wants to have a family. She no longer sees the desire, that whole like, yeah, I'm at the club with my friends. She's seen that, done that. It was what it was. And now she's focused on, I really do want to be a wife, a mother. I want to go into a business where my hours are flexible. And I'm very happy for her.
That's
My,
good. I like
my
that.
other child is majoring in Mandarin. So she has a different life focus. She wants to be a neurosurgeon, which again, work-life balance. She's focusing on something where she can have a work-life balance, which our mothers, unfortunately, didn't really teach us.
Okay, Michelle, I got a question for you. Yeah, I've just been sitting here listening to this. Did you give your daughter the warning that that she has to have with becoming a neurosurgeon? That okay, if you choose to go this route, the type of man you're going to get, your dating pool, your marriage pool is going to be limited.
Yes, but I also pointed to the fact that she's light skinned, naturally curly hair, and she has hazel eyes. So that gives you an advantage. She also has a very big bust and a big butt. So yes, I have always told my daughters that their dating pool was smaller because there are less rich men out there in the world than there are poor men. And I gave them a scenario that a white teacher told me. Not my mother, but a white teacher. She said, dating is like this. You can go to Neiman Marcus and not have enough money to buy a particular outfit. Your choices are you could go to a cheaper store and buy a dress there, or you can save up your money and then go to Neiman Marcus. And if that dress that you wanted is not there, but you're now in Neiman Marcus. So I've always carried myself, and I've always taught my daughters that it's very simple. There are a lot of broke ass niggas out there. There are a lot of hardworking niggas out there. And then there are the exceptional niggas, that top 10%. The top 10% usually wants someone at their top 10% level. You know, if you are.
Well, Michelle, I'll tell you like this. You know, your daughters sound like beautiful women from your description. However, as a man, like we will choose to deal with that, you know, cashier or waitress who's a 6 over a neurosurgeon who's a 10. Just because,
I mean,
a
You don't
neuro.
but I'm
even
saying
know
it like
her
this.
though. How do
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it to you like this. I had a friend who is funny as hell. He's a Q, acted like a Q, went home and got a Burger King worker pregnant. His mom and dad were like, you know, you got to restore the family honor, marry her. He married her and he was so embarrassed. He had a PhD and he would introduce his wife at cocktail parties. So what did he do? He got her into a college so that she would have a professional title. So yes, it is possible for a man to
And okay, so
marry.
that's what's wrong with the community. Like right now, like
What do you mean? She gave a good
because
example.
we don't want that. Men do not
It's
want that.
lies.
The
Men
community is the only culture where oh, my woman got to have a PhD. You know, that was the whole joke. Kevin Samuels made millions off of that. But what about my PhD? Like that was a joke. Kevin Samuels was trolling and he made like millions literally off of that.
But
Men,
I'm gonna say it to you like that. You asked me, did I tell my daughters that they were gonna be in a limited dating pool? And I told you that
yeah.
there were men I would not date them because they were not in the pool that I was trying to swim in.
And it's
I
cute.
did not.
And it's cute. And then I gotta say this about that Q dog. Now, all respect to the Q dogs out there. I know they doing wonderful and great things out there in the society, in the country. But when you as a man, you can't stand on your square and say, look, I married my wife. My wife comes from here. It is what it is. This is my wife. If you don't like it, you know what? You can pound sand. You got a problem, step to me. My wife comes from here. I met her at this place. No, she ain't got no degree, but my wife got my back. She takes care of my house. She takes care of my kids. I ain't got to get her no degree or anything like that.
Yeah, but people want to rub shoulders. They want to know, what did you do? Like, what are your
So what?
achievements? Like,
So
you want
Yeah,
to
what?
he
rub
lost out.
She's
shoulders.
a
He lost
housewife.
out on opportunities. He was losing out on opportunities because his wife did not fit in.
Well,
Yeah,
how did
you
she
have to
not fit in?
network. You
She's
got to
a
be able to
housewife.
be a part of that
But she,
life.
No, she does. Why do you? Why do you got to rub circles? If he's doing what he needs to do, and his wife is at the house doing what she needs to do, well, I don't see a
Because
problem.
the
What's
Because
the
that's
wife,
not
problem
the
here?
way
the wife is the queen.
society.
You don't
See,
understand
when
when
you
you
are
take
trying
your
to get
wife.
into a certain society, it matters. It matters. When you see these politicians running for office, it's like my wife. They have to give Melania didn't have a degree. Oh, but she speaks 5 languages. Oh, okay. That is an advantage. Okay,
She's
yeah.
European. That's
yeah,
what
they
goes
had to
around in
make
Europe.
her. They had to make her seem more than what she is.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
she's European. That's natural. Most
look,
people in Europe,
when
most
Tiger
people in
Woods,
Africa, they speak 5 or 6 languages. That's
when
where it comes.
Tiger Woods, when Tiger Woods got married, what did he say? Oh, my wife is a model. That bitch was a goddamn nanny. Men will marry down, but then they'll try to
But
bring her up.
she looked like a model. That's the key.
exactly.
And here,
No, it's the truth though. The woman is like the queen of the chessboard because she has to rub shoulders. She has to be like, lively. She has to be able to entertain people. She has to have some kind of experience to relate with other people. And if she can't bring that, like,
they're called
what benefit is
people
she at
skills.
with you if you're
It,
going to these functions?
They're
I
called
guess
people
it
skills.
would just depend on where the guy is going. Because if he can make that money on his own without doing that, then no, she wouldn't need to do that. But
No, I'm gonna
the
say
guy
he
that
is the
the
guy that
guy
I'm
that
talking
y'all
about
talking
is
about,
actually
huh?
the guy that I'm talking about is a writer. He's a writer. He's on television a lot, and he really did suffer because he was, I'm even talking about him right now because the bitch was a damn working at Whataburger. You trying to get a hookup at the drive-thru and you wound up getting her pregnant.
Oh, but what did she do? How did she handle her housely duties? Did she hold it down at home? Did she take care of the kids? That matters more than rubbing elbows.
No offense to that, but you can pay somebody to do that. Like,
Oh
but
my God. Oh, heck
you
no.
guys say that. Maybe like, oh, I can pay somebody to do this.
If
I
you
can
a
pay somebody
single
to do that.
dude, yes. If you leave that woman, yes. But if he gonna stand in it, if he's gonna be the man and hold it down, honor his fatherly roles and be, an old school traditional guy, marry the woman, she better be doing her part.
Then
And
okay, then that maybe that's acceptable. Yeah. If that,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
because my
I'm listening
logic
to,
is if hold on, if I can pay somebody else to raise my kids, what do I need my wife for?
Exactly. That's what we saying. You gotta have more to the relationship with that. If that's the only reason why you married her to take care of the house, to take care of I don't know, maybe I don't know.
What
That just
else?
sounds
What else?
Huh?
What
What
you mean
else?
what else? Because you love her. You like her. You can't just
Ah.
you guys have this
Well,
conversation.
it should be on
like I
some
said, like I
admire.
said,
Do you
once
admire
a
this
Oh
woman?
my
woman,
God.
once
Because
a
if
Okay.
woman gets, once a woman gets independent, it's like I had a housekeeper. So when I got married, the housekeeper came with me. It was like I cook very well, but somebody needs to come and wash the dishes. Somebody needs to come and sweep the floor. Somebody needs to come and mop because I'm busy. I'm busy making sure that the table is spread right. You've eaten. That's good, but I don't do dishes. I do not do dishes. I ain't gonna do dishes. We get a housekeeper, or we're gonna get some paper plates. And that's because I was
yeah, but
independent. I was not going to go backwards. I was not going to take on the response. I spent my time teaching my kids, not running a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I was talking about raising the kids. I wasn't even talking about cleaning the house, cooking
Yeah,
the meals. I'm
I
I'm
think,
solely talking about raising your kids. So if I got to pay
and I think
somebody
you're
else
really
to raise
talking.
my kids, what do I need my wife for? I'm talking that's the part I'm
You
talking about.
can
I
pay
can
somebody to do that if you make enough money. You can do that.
But
And
that's
But
that's
that's a
and
class
that's the
thing.
sad.
That,
that's
yeah,
why I
again,
said
you're
we should
you're
get
talking about a
both of
class
them to
thing.
live and taking care of kids
But
and
the
cooking
sad
and
part
cleaning.
is, the sad part is, too many people in America. We saw it during the pandemic. They're sitting up there saying we need two incomes. Therefore, we need public school. We need free school so that there's somebody watching our kids while we try to get a double income.
right.
And
Okay, so we're okay. So free school, but okay, free school doesn't matter to those kids under 5. They got to pay daycare, and what you got is women out there working just to pay for the daycare versus homeschooling. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Working on a
right,
home business and staying at home and making sure that house is straight.
Yeah, and here's another crazy thing too, especially because of technology nowadays. You can make money from home being a stay-at-home mom and not have to even deal with all of that nonsense.
right. You can,
I'm
So
depending
just
on.
saying,
in
if
in
you
that situation, I actually like I have no problem with women who do that. That's actually a very awesome thing. Um, because they're still taking care of the house. They're still taking care of the kids. They just got a little side hustle thing they got going on, and it happens to generate income. That's completely fine. But that's totally separate from like the whole um what the modern version of the independent woman where she's got her dreams, he's got his dreams, and none of that when you put it together comes together for to be cohesive for raising good kids. Their kids
why is it
often get
not
tossed by the
cohesive?
wayside.
There's black
I don't
families that do that now, where the woman owns a business and the man owns a business, and they both have kids and they both have
You're
like
trying to
they have
you're
goals
trying to
and they
make
have
the
stuff they put on their
exception.
frames. Like, what are you saying?
Your
Like,
mic is jacked
You're
up,
trying to
creative.
make the exception the norm. Yeah, and not only
Right.
you're trying to make the exception the norm, you're trying to make like the Instagram family exception the norm. It's just not going to work.
No, for most people, the reality is that if it was not for public schools, they would not be able to have a dual income household. And they're still usually in debt.
That's
So,
facts. Yeah, I can't deny that right there.
yeah, so the focus in the United States of having both parents work all through, put the child in daycare. I hate daycare. I never put my kids in daycare. I had 3 kids back to back, 3 kids within 14 months. I did get help. I did have help with my kids. I had a nanny, a live-in nanny, because I had 3 kids back to back. I had more kids than I could carry. So it depends on your situation and your level of planning. We plan for real estate to supplement. While since I was going to stay at home, we bought real estate so that we'd have that income. So there are ways that people can supplement their income so that they can provide for their families.
Yeah, but people don't plan for all that. They just out. They do it for love, or this guy is cute. I have my baby for him because I want to have this cute baby from him. Same with the dudes. Well, I have this cute baby from her, and
Let
they
me
don't
tell you a
plan
little.
for none of this shit.
Let me tell you a little secret.
And then here's another thing too, that also works both ways, because a common thing that I hear women say on panels, because they're able to provide for themselves, they got a job so they can provide for themselves, they have weapons and stuff like that, so they're able to protect themselves. So their question is, okay, what do I need the men for?
I'm
So
gonna tell you something.
it's both. It's all this rotating circle of men feel that they don't need women, and women feel like they don't need men. But somehow we still got to make a relationship work with 2 people
Let
who
me
don't
tell
need
you.
each other.
And we're
Yeah.
complaining more about relationships now than we did back then. That's
Let me
the
tell you
Honestly,
a
I
little secret.
disagree.
Let me tell you
Hold
all
on.
the little
I
legal.
disagree. Wait a second, Nisha. I disagree with that whole premise. I don't think men are saying that we don't need women. I mean, there are still, pickup artists and people trying to get women and all that. The dudes that go on to other countries trying to get women. It's not that men are saying we don't need women. Men don't want to get abused in the deal. That's really the problem here. It's like the women aren't presenting a deal that men can accept, and so without that, it's almost like you got to hold your breath or go to some faraway land and find you a woman. But I don't know that you can really say men are saying that they don't need women. This whole thing started with women rejecting the family. This is what feminism was in its spirit, is women rejecting men. That's why I can't really let that one go. No, no, no. Men still want women. We just want y'all for a certain thing. Women don't like that.
And that's why I said
That
men
makes
did not
sense. I feel
change.
it.
That's why I said men did not change. But some women picked up on something, that when we keep talking about the single mama, I have had single mamas break it down to me. The way our laws in Texas are set up, it is more advantageous for you to have 3 kids by 3 individuals. Let's say 3 men, each of them made $100,000. Max out on child support in Texas, 20%. So each man is basically paying $20,000 a year for his child. So she's getting $60,000. If she had had a child with a man, and she 3 kids with one man, whether they're married or not, her child support would be 30% of his income, 30,000 versus 60,000. The laws encourage women to have multiple baby daddies. Would you rather have $30,000 a year, or would you rather have $60,000 a year?
Okay. So for us, yeah, I
It
get
goes
what
on
it.
morality, though. What
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the morality?
And I had this argument on a panel when I said,
Morality.
yeah, I said that women can make 52,000 a year, and I was off just from getting government benefits, so I was off. But as men, especially misogynists like us, we're looking at it like, why as a woman would you want to go that route? That just seems weird. Why not just, I don't know. For somebody old school like me, I'm like, why not just go the traditional route? That just the free money, juicing, finessing niggas route. God, it just sounds so cringe.
And also, that seemed more of a risk anyway, because not only that you as much as society try to downplay it, women still can die from childbirth. So you really risking yourself for this bag from some rich dude when it'd be more beneficial if you like you said, Trey, go the traditional route, or just don't go that route at all, and just if you want to be this career woman, do that. Because like I said, what if you're having these children? There's a risk that you can still die in childbirth that we in society downplay a lot,
especially if you're a
Yeah,
black woman.
especially if you're
If
black.
you're a black woman. The
Right,
quality of care that they are giving to black women is substandard.
right.
Oh,
I
okay.
agree with
Second,
All
that.
right. Nichelle,
no,
come on, Nichelle. Gotta
no, no,
call
no, no,
cap
no.
on that. Nichelle, come
No, no, no,
on.
no, no.
Yeah, I
They are
disagree
doing
too.
CBS. No, CBS is doing a documentary on it.
I
That's
know
That,
choice,
they do a
Nichelle.
lot of lies. They
No,
put a
okay,
lot of lies on TV.
okay,
no, it's not.
Nichelle. Is
yeah.
that the
It's
choice in
not.
man? Nichelle, let me ask you something now. If you get with a military guy who's stationed in Germany and you get care out on the economy and you're in this multi-billion-dollar hospital getting the best care Europe has to offer, you as a woman, you chose good. Now, I didn't say anything about color. Now, if you chose to have a baby with Pook who's got 6 other baby mamas and you got to go to freaking the hospital in the hood, you know what I'm saying, is treating you and illegal immigrants, you get what you get.
No, I'm not
No,
talking about that.
And,
As a black woman, who's
What does it
experienced
got to do with
childbirth.
color? What does it got to do
It
with color?
okay.
Underdog.
Let me give you an example. Let
Free
me
Zone, you about
give
to
you an
boot it
example.
up, or Trey, Free
My
Huh?
Zone,
first
brother,
child,
who's about to
my
boot it
first
up? I'm
child,
about to go.
my first child, they
Oh,
gave me.
I'll probably end up doing a show later, but yeah, I'm a dip as well.
Um, like I said, I gotta go. I'm taking my son to his boxing classes, so I'm about to go.
All right,
All right.
DMT.
All right,
But I
man.
tell you guys,
To be continued. To be continued.
you guys, yeah,
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 Nichelle, we
you
yeah.
got
guys
to pick this
coming
one up another
through.
time.
Shout out to Michelle
Yeah.
for holding it down. Shout out to Hood Conservative. Shout out to Brother Speak. Shout out to Charlene, Creative Solutions. Um, I think y'all have fun. The thing y'all have fun. Michelle, you got the conversation definitely that we were talking about. Was it yesterday? Or yeah, I think it was yesterday.
It was
So
yesterday. It's
yeah,
just. I think we're just scared to just be honest about where we are in society when it comes to these kids having sex, marriage
fair
versus
enough.
sex.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. And we'll
I
keep
get
having these
it.
conversations. It was good to see, though there were disagreements, there were also agreements. And so, you know, thank you guys for coming through. We'll see you guys
Thanks for
later.
having us.
Always, show,
Thanks,
always.
DMT.
Shout out to Brother Speak for coming through. I made sure I shared your stream last time, bro. Make sure I shared your stream. I'll keep on trying to share them. All right, bro. I'll see you guys
Oh,
later.
thanks, man. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it, man.
No problem. Peace, guys.
No, peace.
Peace.
Have a good night.